It's time. Finally, a show for you. A once-a-week extravaganza, giving you the weekend's movies, the week's cons and entertainment events, what is worth watching on television for the week, the weekly comic book, novel, game, and collectible releases, as well as entertainment news and information. Everything you want, everything you need in pop culture. It's Pop Culture Kaboom with your host, Jimmy Jones.
And hello, world. I am your not-so-humble host, Jimmy Jones. To my left, Spencer Stoner.
Hola.
To my right, Rob Knowles.
Hello, hello, hello.
He is behind the big board and also here to take your calls. And I am behind my laptop, manning it to take your messages on Facebook. But other than that, we're here tonight to give you everything you want, everything you need in pop culture entertainment. Whether you consider Sunday the end of your week or the beginning of it, go into Monday, the best informed person you know, as we provide you with the latest news, information, and releases from television, comic books, movies, novels, cons and events, toys and collectibles, and games. The Pop Culture Kaboom radio show is also your place on the radio dial for you to talk about your favorite fandoms. This week, Tony Sanfilippo of Filippo's Horrible Reviews will be joining us to go over the movies set to be released this coming week. And our special guests, we have Nancy Ann Ritter and Christohper Inlow, two stars of the upcoming horror comedy, The Only Ones. We'll be talking with these two great horror film veterans about working together on The Only Ones, their upcoming individual projects that they can discuss without violating any of those pesky NDAs.
The bane of our existence.
Yes, they are. And when we might see them in a film together again, and about Nancy Ann Ritter and Christohper Inlow's upcoming appearances. All of this and your comments and thoughts on the 7 pillars of pop culture entertainment, your favorite fandoms, and everything discussed on the show. To add your voice, all you have to do is call 775-515-4141 anytime during the Pop Culture Kaboom radio show. And that number is good from anywhere. And I mean anywhere in the world, as long as you have an actual phone.
Oh, so, and the country code.
Oh yeah, well you got to dial your country code to get out of get into the United States, at least via phone anyway. Or you can always send a message through the Facebook page. I have it up right now, like Eric is from Whittier, California. I think that last song put him to sleep though, but anyway.
It was doing the same to us.
Yes, it was. You are always welcome to send us an email with questions and comments about anything discussed on the show, your favorite fandoms, or with the 7 pillars of pop culture entertainment. To do so, all you have to do is email us at popculturekaboom@gmail.com. Please put in the subject line question, comment, concern, or my fandom. In the body of the email, please add your name, first name only. I will not read email addresses over the phone, over the air, so your name, the city, state, or country that you live in, then fire away with what's on your mind. I respond to each and every email, or if they are for Spencer or Rob, I will forward the email to them to respond back to you. Bear in mind, it will be read on the air unless you specify for it not to be, or you can't follow those simple instructions. First up, from New Jersey, Donald from Whiting, New Jersey. The new season of Rick and Morty debuts on Sunday, October 15th, yet you haven't talked... Oops, there we go. Yet
ding,
you
ding,
haven't.
ding.
I know, gling, gling, gling everywhere. But yet you haven't talked much about it. I think
you mentioned it when we talk about the shows. You go, hey, it's going to be on at this time. I mean,
yeah.
Well, it hasn't come up yet because it hasn't debuted. So
no, but when the season was announced,
and we talked about it when it was announced. But there's not really much to talk about until it actually starts broadcasting.
Yeah, I mean, they're not paying me to sit here and promote them every week.
I was going to say, I don't know if none of us really declared that we're like it's a fandom of ours.
Yeah, no, I watch it.
I watch it, but I don't think that we've...
Rick and Morty doesn't have us in their list of sponsors that make sure we talk about them every week.
Exactly. If they want to pay us, I'll talk about them every week. Also, why haven't you had Justin Rowland or Dan Harmon on the show? Because I haven't tried to contact them, quite honestly. But other than that, it would be interesting to hear what each of them had to say about the whole blow-up that ended their creative relationship. No, it wouldn't. Not to me anyway, because this is not the place to dish dirt on people. So
I was going to say, Dan Harmon actually just did a whole thing on it. I saw it yesterday on the internet where he finally talked about his whole thing.
Yeah, well, good for him.
Yeah, and that's not really our milieu. We talk about the nerdy works the people do, not the personal lives.
I don't. Yeah, so that's kind of a stickler there, Donald. We don't talk about personal lives, and especially in situations like that, because it's just. I'm sure some tabloid or someplace would like to go ahead and run that, but not here. Judd, J-U-D-D, Judd from Long Beach, California, IA. I have to vent. Why won't those strikes blanking end? Apparently he has Tourette's, because this email is littered with F-bombs. Entertainment is my escape, and it seems that no matter what, someone is throwing a blanking monkey wrench in it. I need my escapism. Okay.
I'm with you.
I wish they'd just grow a pair and get back to work. They all make too much blanking money anyway. If they stopped with the blanking ridiculous amounts they spend on movies and shows and demand less money, I wouldn't have to pay so much to enjoy my life. It does actually kind of have a point.
Right.
Well, in that case, Judd, here's what I would recommend, and this is a serious recommendation. Don't go to Hollywood for your entertainment stuff. Find local authors and comic artists and local movie makers and try to watch their stuff.
Yeah,
because we just got back from a big horror film festival yesterday.
Yeah,
and I know I'm personally I'm an author that has books online for sale.
Are you personally an author?
I am personally an author, and I know I would love to have people read my stuff. And I know I'm not on any bestseller list, so I know I can be introduced to a lot of different people.
There you go.
And also a lot of other local creators could really benefit from your attention too.
And he continues, for blank's sake. Thanks for listening.
Well, he did say he wanted to rant, so
well, yeah, and he got it out, and
then he closes with, "Love the show. You guys are blanking funny."
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Good.
All right. Now I have a goal. I'm gonna shoot for that HBO comedy special. All right, Brian from Carson City, Nevada. Hey, how come you don't give away movie tickets anymore? Because they cost money, Brian. That's why. I mean, and plus there really hasn't been anything worth seeing in a theater anyway. I mean, quite honestly, there's been no real big blockbuster things. I mean,
with the strike, the heavy hitting stuff has always been delayed. So
yeah, well, Marvel's is coming out on November 4th, I guess. So there's that.
Well, yeah, but how many times has that been delayed?
Not enough. I mean, anyway, so those are the emails. By the way, thank you all for the birthday wishes and everything. Especially thank you to Crystal for the gift basket, I guess is the best way to phrase it. Had all kinds of cool stuff in it, too. I had a skull head globe thing, you shake it and a little black glitter stuff inside it. A little skull totem that did the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, which was kind of cool. I almost accidentally didn't see the Ren and Stimpy figurines that were buried in the straw at the bottom of there. They almost got lost in there, but I was able to rescue them. So now they're sitting on my in my office. So
you won't have the little cartoon chihuahua going from the garbage going, "You idiot!"
Yeah, and he would have said that too, because he almost ended up in the garbage. If you'd like to send us an email, please feel free at popculturekaboom@gmail.com. So we do have some upcoming stuff coming up. One's really long away, one's not. So you can join me at Dreamwell Comics Saturday, October 28th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. is when I'll be there, but they'll be doing this all day long for a Dreamwell Comics Marvel Trick or Read event. They will have specials to celebrate from opening to closing, specials for those in costume even more special than the normal specials that they'd be having specials for the special.
Special of them.
That is. And don't forget to grab yourself some of the Marvel Trick or Read comics. I will also have something special for a little something for those who show up to Dreamwell Comics while I am there from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. in costume. So it's basically like free comic book day in October at Dreamwell Comics on Saturday, October 28th. So go check it out.
Yeah, every time I've gone to Dreamwell and they've had costume things like for free comic book day or something, there have been some costumes that have not disappointed.
Speaking of costumes, last night, we'll get into that in a minute.
Okay.
So there are 329 days until Carson City, Nevada's first ever pop culture convention. KaboomCon, 97 and Now Productions, will be putting on KaboomCon Saturday, September 7th, 2024, and it'll only be going on from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., but there's a ton of stuff going on, a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, lots of things that we'll be able to talk about later in the future. Everything you can do, who will be at it, at KaboomCon 2024. We will let you know as soon as tickets will go on sale as well. And some of the proceeds from KaboomCon will benefit Cold Nose Rescue in Sanctuary and Mound House and KNBC 95.1 FM Community Radio right here on Cousin City. All right, so let's get to the Phoenix question of the week. In the spirit of Halloween and all things that go bump in the night, the Phoenix question of the week asks, of all the scary monsters from television, film, comic books, and novels, what unholy, monstrous nightmare fuel has haunted you the most, I guess, in your entire life? Spencer?
Well, the weird thing about me is that my nightmares never really involve monsters of any sort.
I'm not talking about your monsters, talking about scary monsters from television, film, comic books, and novels.
I'm getting there. But when I was a kid, I was obsessed with Freddy Krueger. I mean, I drew. My teachers got concerned when they asked me to draw a Halloween-themed picture, and I put Freddy Krueger in it, and I almost got in trouble for that. And after that, I was told not to do so much stuff involving Freddy Krueger. Yeah, So I started behaving after that, and started making new monsters.
Oh, okay. So anything creep you out?
Well,
anything bother you?
Well, not from folklore, from Japanese folklore. There's this Japanese style of vampire called a yokai, and in my head, I also mixed it with a Celtic monster called a Penangolin. And in movies, they use the yokai and stuff a lot because the stretchy limbs make very interesting viewing. But my brain combined the two, and that freaked me out to the point I actually made a character with the image in my head that I got from a dream because of that. Somebody with their neck stretched out, but their neck stretched out, so all their entrails and all their organs keeping their head still attached to their body. Gross stuff.
So nothing from film, comic books, or novels?
Well, just Freddy Krueger would be the closest. I was obsessed with him as a kid.
Or television. Okay.
Yeah, from well before I was supposed to be able to watch him at the rated R
had no
rating.
idea what age restriction was. Trust me.
Yeah, mine neither.
Rob, what say you?
Well, let's see. There's nothing really that, like, I don't know, scary movies don't scare me anymore. There's nothing really that takes it on. But, like, from my childhood that has changed my life entirely was the movie Poltergeist. Basically, there's a lot of similarity to that movie and our growing up. We were on a.
Do I want to ask?
Let's see. They were built on an Indian graveyard. We were on an old orchard. So there's that,
tomato.
Right. So I had a giant ass tree. Excuse my language, but I had a giant tree in the front of my yard that was very ominous-y. My name was Robbie at the time. After that movie, I never went by Robbie again. I kid you not. No, I kid you not. I was afraid because if I was still Robbie, that tree in front of my yard was going to eat me because it was in front of my window.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So Poltergeist got you,
Yep.
huh?
Oh, yeah.
Turned that real life tree into something. Okay.
Oh, wait, I did think of one thing. Sorry. I'll just be really quick. Child's Play. I saw that as a kid, and I was at the age where I had a My Buddy doll.
Really?
Yeah, and the My Buddy dolls looked eerily like Chucky. So mine, that was named Brian, spent about a month face down in the back of my closet because I didn't want him to.
Wow. Surprised there wasn't a little bondage involved there too. Tie his hands behind his back, and do a little hog tying. All right.
And what about you?
I don't know. My parents my dad especially started us off real early with the horror movies. I mean, I remember watching like Humanoids from the Deep when I was like 7, 8. All of those movies. I had a little brother too, so that was kind of. It's hard to be scared of something when you're trying to keep your little brother from being scared. So, like, we saw Amityville Horror when it first came out on video. And when did that come out? Like 78, something like that?
Yeah, I'd say 70s.
Yeah, it would have been like 77 because that would have been just before Margot Robbie was, or not Margot Robbie.
What?
Not Margot Robbie. Margot Kidder was Lois Lane in Superman, which came out in 1978.
Okay, and you know, I grew up on Halloween, and my little brother really got freaked out by Amityville Horror with that pig thing that was in there. So my older brother and I, it was kind of our job to make sure he wasn't scared anymore. So we're kind of like started cracking jokes about it and everything, and making fun of it. And so I guess that pretty much describes how I ended up how I am today.
So yeah,
making fun of everything.
Yeah.
So, but I do got a really cool story. This was a really weird experience because my grandparents lived up in Washington State, right? And they lived in a small town called Bremerton, Washington. No, they didn't live in Bremerton. I'm sorry. They lived in Hoquiam. I can't remember. Anyway, so this little small town, the only thing up there was like a wood mill or something like that. And so I was over at a couple of cousins' house because we used to live in Florida, and we traveled up there, and then we ended up moving up to Vancouver, Washington for a little while. So we ended up having to stay at my grandparents for a little while before we can get a house or housing down in Vancouver, Washington. Hellraiser or Jaws, really, Eric? That's kind of a...
Well, the music to Jaws kind of... I mean, to this day, you can just go... Dun, dun.
All right, Eric.
See, Jaws came out. I lived in Florida. I was not afraid to go in the water.
Okay,
it just wasn't.
So I have a weird fear of the water because of Jaws, but it's not like I won't go into the water. But if I am sitting for a long time, stationary in the ocean or a lake, I start to freak out.
Really?
Yeah. And I think like, oh my God, something's going to come and eat me. Not necessarily like Jaws, and it's weird because like I can have no problem if I'm swimming, even if I'm just there like waiting. But after about 5 minutes of just being in the same spot, I don't know, my mind just goes bonkers.
Yeah, your fight or flight kind of starts going, is it time to go?
Yep.
Interesting. So, I was over at a cousin's house watching Nightmare on Elm Street. So they have these really creepy alleyways in Hoquiam, Washington, and I had to walk through this alley to get to my grandparents' house. So after watching Freddy Krueger, I don't know, I was walking down this aisle, I was thinking about the arms stretched out, you know,
right.
down the
scrapes it, right?
alleyway, yeah. And so I'm thinking about that's going through my head when I'm walking, and then I get to my grandparents' house, and I'm in the kitchen, and I wanted to get some water to drink. And they had their house was weird. It had a built-on garage that had an actual door that went to it. And so then they had like, I guess it would be like a mud room or a canning room or whatever they called it. And then a door that goes into the kitchen, and the door that goes into the kitchen had glass on it, so you can actually see out it.
Okay.
And I'm like...
Into the mudroom?
Yes.
That's kind of weird, but okay.
It is. And it was dark in there, and I'm like, well, that's kind of creepy. So I went over to make sure the door was shut, you know, and then I went back and started pouring the water. All of a sudden, there was this, like, push up against the door, and that kind of freaked me out. Because there was no reason, no explanation as to why that would have happened. I'm like, there ain't nobody out there. What the beep is going on? So I had to go and look. So, but yeah, that was a weird Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street story. But nothing really scares me in movies. Nothing has like haunted me. I come up with my own stuff in my own head enough I don't have to worry about it, I guess.
Yeah. Anything that's on TV or in movies, my mom, from my mom and dad, from a very young age, just basically said everything that's on television is pretends unless I tell you otherwise. Even the news, everything was pretends. And when when everything's pretends, you can't be scared of anything pretend.
So here's another good example.
Okay. We have a caller.
Right okay.
Okay, we have a minute before we go to break.
All right, I'll let him know that. All right, go ahead and patch him through. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, it's Robert from Dreamwell.
Hey, Robert from Dreamwell. How are you? So what scares you, Robert?
The Zuni fetish doll from Trilogy of Terror.
Really? Wow, why are you guys laughing at him? That's kind of mean.
We're not laughing because it's so...
it's just an iconic little figure.
Like, it is.
The yellow guy was terrible. And you can't stop him.
Wow, and it sounds like you're really traumatized by it, too.
I was traumatized. Of course, I didn't play with dolls like Spencer did.
Wow.
Hey, in my defense, I was in the single digits and just saw Child's Play for the first time.
Right.
Wow.
Hey, that thing should have been comforting, but it was the exact opposite after that movie, man.
I'm sure it was.
It changed me, man.
Wow, okay. A little PTSD there with that one. All right, sir, we got to go on break. Anything else you want to add, or?
No, hey, thanks for the mention. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. And I'll see you on the 28th, if not sooner, because
You
I got to
bet.
pick up
It's
some
gonna be
comic
fun.
books.
Yeah, another flat by now.
All right, everybody, it is time for us to take a break, and we'll be right back after this. Action figures, not dolls. Come on. We'll be right back after this, so don't go anywhere. More Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show coming up. The Toyabe Music Chamber Music Society. Wow, I got confused all of a sudden, didn't I? Will be the Reno Modern Brass will be performing at the Brewery Arts Center Performance Hall Tuesday, October 24th at 7 p.m. Good music in good spaces, no admittance charge. If you want to know more information, go to toyabemusic.org. And that is that. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show. Everything you want, everything you need in pop culture entertainment. So the SAG-AFTRA strike is now 94 days in, and if the AMPTP thought that walking away from the table would be some kind of power move on the part of these studios and streamers, in its negotiations with SAG-AFTRA, the entertainment industry's union served it a reality check on Friday the 13th. On my birthday of all times, in a move that can be best compared to struck company Disney's Marvel Studios film Avengers Endgame, the Writers Guild of America West, Writers Guild of America East, Directors Guild of America, International Alliance of Theater Stage Employees, American Federation of Musicians, Teamsters, and Hollywood Basic Crafts issued a joint statement that made their position crystal clear to AMPTP. Get back to the bargaining table. And it says, and I quote, "We collectively demand the AMPTP resumes negotiations in good faith immediately, make meaningful moves at the negotiating table with SAG-AFTRA to address performers' specific needs to make the fair deal they deserve," end quote. Read a portion of the release statement. It went on to say, "Our members work side by side for the same handful of employers, and our unions and guilds collectively stand more united than ever. Each day, a fair contract addressing actors' unique priorities is delayed, and another day working professionals across our industry suffer unnecessarily. At this point, it should be clear to the studios and the AMPTP that more is needed than proposals which merely replicate the terms negotiated with other unions. We collectively demand the AMPTP resume negotiations in good faith immediately, make meaningful moves at the negotiating table with SAG-AFTRA to address performer-specific needs, and make the fair deal they deserve." Here's a look at what the AMPTP released, including their offer to the union, followed by the response from SAG-AFTRA. Negotiations between the AMPTP and SAG-AFTRA have been suspended after SAG-AFTRA presented its most recent proposal on October 11th. After meaningful conversations, it is clear the gap between the AMPTP and the SAG-AFTRA is too great, and conversations are no longer moving us in a productive direction. SAG-AFTRA's current offer included what is characterized as a viewership bonus that by itself could cost more than $800 million per year, which would create an unattainable economic burden. SAG-AFTRA presented few, if any, moves on the numerous remaining open-ish items. Member company executives and AMPTP representatives met with SAG-AFTRA for 5 days over the past 8 workdays. During that time period, AMPTP extended offers, including a first-of-its-kind success-based residual for high-budget SVOD productions. the highest percentage increase in minimums in 35 years, which would generate an additional $717 million in wages and $177 million in contributions to the pension and health plans during the contract term. A 58% increase in salaries for major role, guest star, performers' wages on high-budget SVOD programs, a 76% increase in high-budget SVOD foreign residuals for the 4 largest streaming services, substantial increases in pension and health contribution caps ranging from 22 to 33%, which will make it easier for performers to qualify for additional periods of health coverage and earn years of service towards a pension, meeting nearly all of the union's demands on casting, including guardrails around self-tapes, options for virtual and in-person auditions, and accommodations to performers with disabilities, compensation adjustments of 25% for singers who dance and dancers who sing on camera in the same session, whether in rehearsal or photography, representing a 30% increase over current wages. Wage increases for stunt coordinators of 10%. Really, the stunt guys only get 10% in the first year, and outsized increases in years 2 and 3, and giving television stunt coordinators fixed residuals for the first time ever. Substantial improvements in relocation allowance, a 200% increase in if the performer is on the overnight location for 6 months. A relocation allowance would not be payable for every season in which the performer is on an overnight location versus a current limit of 2 or 4 seasons. Substantial increases in Schedule F money breaks of between 11% and 41%. The 41% increase applies to 1-hour television programs, which covers the largest number of productions done under the agreement. A 25% increase in span money breaks, I have no idea what that means, covering performance capture work under the agreement, which the union has sought for 20 years. On AI protections, advance consent from the performer and background actor to create and use digital replicas. No digital replica of the performer can be used without the performer's written consent and description of the intended use in the film. Prohibition of later use of that replica unless performer specifically consents to that new use and is paid for it. A digital alteration that would change the nature of an actor's performance in a role is not permitted without informing the performer of the intended alteration and securing the performer's consent. On common issues such as general wage increases, high-budget SVOD residuals, and viewership bonuses, the AMPTP offered the same terms that were ratified by the DGA and WGA, yet SAG-AFTRA rejected these. So just so you know what's going on. What's the matter with my eyes? Oh, whoops. Not reading that out loud. See, some of it does make sense, Eric. So what do you guys think? Is SAG-AFTRA kind of being a little finicky, to say the least?
I don't know, because I'm not sure what their additional terms were. We heard what...
Yeah, I mean...
the
we
AMTV,
heard what the AMT...
Right, which, and at first it sounded like they were being unreasonable with the AI, but then they weren't. They actually are considering future uses.
Any changes that might be
and then
occurring.
Even paying for those future usage. You know what I mean? So, that it seems like they were kind of addressing what, to me, seemed like the AI question anyways.
Yeah, well, the only thing I can think of is maybe there's a loophole in there that SAG is worried about, or...
Well, then you think SAG would say something about it, you know.
Yeah.
They
Of course there's some amount of money in that number salad there that they aren't happy with somewhere. Mm-hmm. But of course, without SAG-AFTRA releasing what they want, what they want in relation to what the AMP blah 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 put out, we don't know if they're being unreasonable or not.
Okay, Eric says he has a question for me, so I'm waiting for him to finish writing it. Oh, we'll wait for you, Eric. Dead air is bad air. But go ahead, Eric. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, this go ahead, Rob.
To me, like I said, the AI to me seemed like that was their biggest hiccup But it seems like, I don't know, one of the things that did strike me was the 41% increase for the hour-long shows, which is the biggest chunk. So to me, maybe SAG-AFTRA's worried that they're going to like, okay, no more hour-long like shows.
Yeah, start just doing like half-hour-long ones.
That's not their problem, though. I mean,
but if that's where we're going to see the biggest increase, you know what I mean? Like that's, I don't know. That, like I said, we don't know what their terms are, but
yeah, we
that
don't
was
know
just one of the things that struck out as weird to me.
Yeah, we don't know what SAG-AFTRA wants in relation to what they've offered, what the other people offered.
That's true. Yeah, and they haven't released that.
Fran.
So. Fran, what happened if CGI character replacing actors? Wow, I got to go back through there.
That would
basically,
probably be AI, I think.
no digital replica of the performer can be used without the performer's written consent and description of the intended use in the film. So they have to be straightforward with what they're doing with the digital replicas and what they're using them for.
Yeah, and there's another gray area there. What if they basically build an artificial person from the ground up? You know, theoretically, you could. You know, in video games, you have people who are almost photorealistic as it is now, but you know, then you get an AI with a decent voice. You know, but the thing is, the AI does have to be sourced from a person, at least at this point.
And so does the voice.
Yeah. What happens if it gets to the point where they don't? I think that might be one of the sticking points too.
Well,
because
it's not listed on here, so
So
I'm not going to play pro
We're
bono attorney and kind of guess.
But
on what the
but
holdups are.
But you know, but having a character like that would be helpful on a lot of shows, like back in the day, like Star Trek: Next Generation. If you had a CGI character like that for Data, for example, who was supposed to not be able to age, Brent Spiner could have been out of a job pretty early on.
Unless he was voicing it.
Unless he was voicing it.
There'd be no more child actors.
And there would be no more child actors.
Because that's one of the big things like that you know, directors have is like, it worry is like, okay, we have to hire this child actor, but if he's on a series that he's supposed to stay the same age, yeah, I can't. You know, when they like hit a certain age, they do change.
Well, see, that's kind of the problem with any superhero movie, though. At this point, I mean, people age. You know, the character like Captain America has been around for 50 plus years. Batman's been around for 90 plus years.
The de-aging stuff that they're doing now. I mean, oh my gosh, if you saw Indiana Jones, like Harrison Ford looks like just like he did.
Okay.
Yeah, and then and James Cameron ran into that problem doing Terminator 2 with the kid who played John Connor. He grew 6 inches during production. So, and since they weren't filming chronologically, they had to make like duck or make him stand in a hole or stuff like that to make it so he looked like the same height.
Was he drinking milk the whole time? Talk about a growth spurt, six inches.
He was he was 14 when he was started it. So
yeah, my sister had a 6-inch
voice didn't change.
Yeah, my sister had a 6-inch growth spurt
funny.
just in one summer. So yeah, it's not unheard of for kids around that age to just go. Boing.
All right, so this past weekend, actually yesterday, we went to we were invited to the Carson Creepy Short Horror Film Competition Award Ceremony and Screening. Yeah, I know. I was having a problem with that all night last night. Wait till you guys see those YouTube videos. Oh, man.
I don't think you said it once correctly.
I don't know if there is a correct way to say it, but I tried. That's all that matters. That's what happens when you don't have like cue cards and stuff like that. But first off, I want to say thank you to Silver State Storytellers for having us there. The Brewery Arts Center as well for being accommodating and allowing us to videotape. Got all kinds of good stuff. And I want to say thank you, Spencer, and thank you, Rob, for helping out and doing what you did last night. It really did help with getting everything together in a smooth as possible way. And even though you had a headache, Rob, I do appreciate, especially since you had a headache. There was 19 films out of the 31 that were submitted that actually made it, and we got to watch. Congratulations. Oh, and they also had a costume contest.
They did.
So
they did.
Awesome costume contest. I did get pictures of all of the
went
participants.
all out, man.
Yeah, they did. So congratulations to runner-up number 3, which was Barbie and Ken. And runner-up number 2, which was Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, which the show that features neither ghosts nor adventures.
Really?
No, it supposedly does, but Zach Baggins is kind of a douche. So
wow,
which is why they went with it, because he may be a douche, but he's an entertaining douche.
Okay. That was,
Yeah,
that
so,
word
yeah,
was
so
said
that's-
3 times. I'm not sure we're going to get in trouble for you.
Right?
I'm kind of like going through the FCC Rolodex right now.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm pretty sure that's safe.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that's safe.
I'm pretty sure.
Right?
It's like that commercial. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I didn't stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night, so I can't be 100%.
Yeah, there you go. And congratulations to Laura Laundrie, who won first place. It was Laura and Elmo as his actual name.
Yeah, her partner in crime, yeah.
Yep. And so congratulations to all of the, we did interview about, what,
I think we
95%?
got all of them, but like 1 or 2, I think.
Yeah, there's
only
yeah,
like
like
3 of those 19 movies I did not
3, okay.
interview someone from it. So those emails will be up soon. So yes, enjoy everybody. Boy, Eric's going crazy here. He's writing me novels.
And what was cool is that like the winner of the audience award got to go and their film is going to be screened again in another place.
Yeah,
and then
that's
the
awesome.
winner of best picture from the judges is going to be screened at like 4 other places.
Yeah.
So that's like super cool.
It's going to be Cordillera International Film Festival. Is for the Judges' Choice Award will be aired for that, as well as the Cordillera Fright Night is going to air at least the Audience Choice, the Director, the Judges' Choice, and I think the Best Director film too, which actually is the one and the same.
Yeah, and one thing that's also really cool is on Halloween they're going to release all the shorts on the Carson City Shorts YouTube page. So you can if you didn't have a chance to go to the film festival, you could still catch the movies, and there were some really good ones. Like,
Yes, there were.
Yeah, my personal favorite was My Willow.
And they won too. What was it?
Oh yeah, they won Best Bad Guy.
Yes,
For Willow.
For Willow, yeah.
Which was kind of funny because I interviewed them before. I tried to do all these interviews before, and then I interviewed the winners afterwards.
Yep.
And that was her thing. Is her favorite thing was the villain or something like
Right,
that.
yeah.
So and then she wins best villain. So scary stuff, kid. But,
Yeah, she did a good job.
But congratulations to everybody. Eric grew 13 inches. Wow. In
Ouch.
13 months.
Man, your knees must have been shrink wrap by then. Jeez.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, right. So, the New York Comic-Con announcements are coming fast and furious, and from Oni Press, fresh off a round of new hires and staff promotions, is adding to its portfolio of licensed comics with a stable of new titles produced in partnership with the Nacelle Company, based on the company's stable of classic toy properties, including Roboforce, Biker Mice from Mars, The Great Garloo, Sectars, and Power Lords. Interesting combination
I recognized
of things.
about half of those.
Okay. We'll finish talking about that when we get back. More Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show coming up. If you missed any part of the show tonight, don't forget, you can always tune in to the Pop Culture Kaboom podcast by 97 to Now Productions, and it is available on your preferred podcast provider. So anywhere that you want to go, Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify,
Podbean.
yeah, all of them. Just check it out anytime you want. So you don't have to wait till 6 to 9 p.m. every Sunday night. Though I'd prefer if you did. Anyway,
That's the only way to get the live one.
right.
Yes, the only way to get
That's
live.
the only way to get it live, and you can participate in live, or you can listen to the podcast and then send us an email.
Yeah, there you go.
Either way you want. But we still got more show to come. We still got our big interviews with Nancy Ann Ritter and Christohper Inlow about The Only Ones movie. Wait till you hear about this movie. I think you're going to enjoy it, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show. Everything you want, everything you need in pop culture entertainment. Thank you for the picture, Eric.
Okay.
He says, I'll send you my high school picture. It's the entire class. Unless he's the one in front with the skirt. I don't know.
Let's pick him out.
Anyway,
It's
so
a Where's Waldo? But we don't know
it
who
is. It really
Waldo
is.
looks like.
Well, I don't know if I can match him up from the profile picture from Facebook or not. So anyway, I was talking about the New York Comic Con announcements and Oni Press teaming up with to do some basically licensed comic books for RoboForce, Biker Mice from Mars, and the like. Most recently, it has brought those initiatives together for a new slate of animated series incorporating all of the properties into the Nacelleverse. Slated to begin in 2024 with a RoboForce animated series and be followed in short order by a Ryan Reynolds-produced Biker Mice from Mars animated series. Now, Oni Press is joining the collaboration, too, with new limited series for each of the Nacelleverse's most notable properties. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Good evening, gentlemen. It's Jim from Carson City.
Hey, Jim from
hello,
Carson City.
Jim.
Been a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I've had to work on Sunday evenings for last month or two.
Oh, wow. Ouch.
So the reason I'm calling you guys is I last time I called I was discussing M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's movie there, A Knock at the Cabin.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, which I enjoyed, and that's one of those. I think the more I think about it, the more I liked it.
Oh,
that's
okay.
good.
So I tried the movie Old. Oh my God, that was awful.
Yes, it was.
That was wow.
Yeah, there's very little middle ground with M. Night Shyamalan. I mean, either it's pretty good, either it's pretty good, or it is terrible.
I mean, and he has a worse track record with that than Wes Craven did. I mean, Wes Craven, he'd do like a really good movie like Scream, then he'd do People Under the Stairs, then he would do like Nightmare on Elm Street, and then he'd do another crap movie. He was all over the place.
Up and down.
Yeah.
So,
M. Night Shyamalan's pretty much at the bottom level, and then occasionally there's like one that jumps up.
Yeah.
so he's like a heart monitor,
Yeah.
flat, and then boop, flat.
I'm sorry, his movies are terrible.
Oh yeah, especially like the last Airbender movie. Ooh.
Okay, so you saw Old. You were not impressed by it, I take it.
Yeah, I liked the reveal at the end. I liked when you found out what was actually going on. But every other aspect of the movie, the characters, the actors, I had zero interest in any of them and what happened to the characters. It was just bad.
I just thought it was funny when that one girl got pregnant, and then she was like giving birth within like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's just.
But I noticed that the aging, was totally plot motivated. I mean, things only happened if the plot required it to happen. Like, the guy getting stabbed
right.
or with that whatever and getting that rusty infection or whatever in his bloodstream, and then it didn't trigger until after she said that.
Right.
So I was like, all right, plot motivated.
Yeah.
Shyamalan.
Yeah, sometimes Shyamalan thinks he's a little too clever, and I think he's a little too reliant on what a twist.
Yeah.
In most of his movies.
Well, it was kind of amusing when that lady was breaking all of her bones and they were healing in the funny positions. I have to admit, I did kind of giggle at that one.
And that was like rapid healing too. I mean,
Yes, yeah.
see how fast that
whatever
healed?
position she ended up.
So that was kind of goofy, if you ask me. All right. So if you were to give it the Pop Culture Kaboom movie rating system scoring, what would you give Old?
Oh, Touch Brown.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That was kind of my thoughts on it when it came out too. Was Touch
Yeah,
Brown.
that was bad.
So
I was pretty disappointed. I had high hopes after Knock at the Cabin. Did you end up seeing that?
no, not yet. I will
He
though.
still hasn't seen it.
Yeah, that was a Touch Brown for me when I saw the trailer. So I can wait. I'm not clamoring anywhere. The only movie I'm
free on
looking
Peacock.
forward to, huh?
It's free on Peacock.
Well, there we are. I might watch it there. The only movie I'm looking forward to seeing and that I'm excited to see coming up is Godzilla -1. That is the only one that I'm looking forward to seeing coming out. Yeah. Have you seen the trailers for that one yet?
I have not. I'm going to look it up after this, though.
Yeah,
you got it.
definitely
It's
check
called
it out.
Godzilla -1. And they've only had like I don't think they've had a full trailer yet. I think it was
just
just
teasers,
a
I
teaser
think,
trailer. So, but check it out. When you watch it, imagine the original Godzilla, and basically this is like a reboot / reimagining of that. And
Okay.
Yeah, because it's set
Yeah.
right after World War II.
Yep. comics, and so
Nice.
it's really I saw this and I'm like, oh, this is going to be so much fun. So my brother already knows because his birthday is December 20. In December. He is going to. I'm going to take him to it for his birthday, so he can watch it. So on the big screen. Only the problem is it's only limited. Go
He's
ahead.
the big Godzilla fan, right?
Oh,
I think I actually,
yes, he is.
I think I actually won tickets to go see it with you and your brother.
One time. Oh,
Yeah, didn't we see the last? Was it King Kong versus Godzilla?
oh yeah, King Kong or Kong versus Godzilla. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
That was fun to watch in the theater, though, wasn't it?
I enjoyed that.
Well, yeah,
I
all of
thought
those
that was
are
pretty good.
really good. Yeah, except for all the plucky human parts. I mean,
Well,
jeez.
no, the first one
Yeah.
that was a problem there. The first
And
one.
they had to throw a kid in there. The best way to ruin a movie is to make it revolve around a kid.
I remember watching
Remember
one.
the
I
little
can't
girl?
remember. I can't remember if it was Gamera or if it was Godzilla. But when we were kids, man, we had a fun time with this one. It was a kaiju movie, and the kid's name was Icho. that was not a good translation there at all. So I mean, somebody beat me to the punch on that one. But anyway,
Well, yeah.
all right.
Anyway, good to finally catch up with you guys.
Yeah, so good hearing
yes.
from you, sir. Although you didn't say happy
All right.
birthday to me, that's kind of disappointing.
Oh, sorry, man.
Wow.
What, is it today?
No, it was Friday, man.
Oh, is it? Sheesh.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, guilt trips are retroactive, man. He got you for 2 days now.
If he's lucky.
All right. Have a good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
All right,
too,
take it
thanks.
easy. All right, so it has been announced that Garth Ennis, co-creator of Preacher, Hitman, and The Boys, famed writer of Punisher, Hellblazer, and Judge Dredd, is to be the new writer of James Bond next year.
Like the novels or the movie?
No, the movie.
Neither. The comic book. The year 2023 has marked the incredible 70th anniversary of Ian Fleming's historic character. 2024 will kick off Dynamite's 10th year publishing comics starring James Bond. With over 20 graphic novels worth of stories on the shelves, Dynamite targeted the perfect creative partner to celebrate these milestones in classy, brutal, and typical Bond style. No name fit more than one of the most celebrated and influential writers from the British Isles and a longtime Dynamite partner, Garth Ennis. He says, and I quote, "When I took a look at the Bond of the Fleming book novels, as opposed to the larger-than-life figure from the movies, I saw a great deal more potential. A much darker character in a more interesting world," said writer Garth Ennis. James Bond #1 will be published by Dynamite Entertainment in January of 2024. The only question remaining, at least in my mind, because it is Diamond, how many cover areas will there be? That's the only
It's
question.
an
left.
anniversary one, so it would be cool if they actually did like ones from all the past, like new iterations.
Yeah,
of all
see
the
how many
past
bonds?
covers.
How many bonds have there been now? Let's see.
Too many.
Yeah, see Sean Connery.
While you add that up, Lilo and Stitch was released by Disney in 2022. From 2022 to 2006, Disney Adventures released a number of comic strip tie-ins to the franchise, including prequel comics set before the original film. Which, why don't you just use Google?
Oh, no.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I think
And?
so. Yeah, it's like there's been like a half a dozen. There's Sean Connery, George Lazenby, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, and
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig.
Okay. And includes prequel comics set before the original film, which included the first appearance of later major character Experiment 625/Reuben, as well as comics set during the film, the TV series Lilo and Stitch, the series, Lilo and Stitch, the series. The sequel, Stitch Has a Glitch, and Leroy and Stitch. Leroy.
Yes.
On March 7th, 2006, Disney Press published a collection of Lilo and Stitch comic strips that were originally published from 2002 to 2005 as Comic Zone Volume 1, Disney's Lilo and Stitch. In 2022, Kondosa published a Stitch and the Samurai manga by Hiro Wada, known in Japan as Tono and Stitch in Japan, and published in English in 2021 by Tokyo Pop. In this reality, Stitch crash-landed in Japan during the Sengoku period and gets taken in by a warlord named Misan Yomato. And now it is time for a traditional American publisher to have a go at in 2024 with everybody's favorite, Dynamite Entertainment. Following the events of the iconic 2022 animated film, the alien Stitch has found his place in Hawaii with his Ohana, which includes his best friend Lilo, Lilo's older sister Nani's boyfriend David, the aliens Dr. Jumba, and Agent Blakely, and social worker Cobra Bubbles.
Cobra Bubbles.
How do you even come up with a name like that?
Well, Bubbles, doesn't that just sound intimidating?
Not with, okay. With the support of his extended found family, Lilo and Stitch are learning to somewhat moderate their sometimes destructive impulses.
Somewhat destructive.
This is a horror movie? Did I miss something here? Somewhat destructive impulses. Okay.
Did you not know Stitch?
No.
Okay, that's why. That's why.
Stitch is a nigh indestructible little blue furry varmint that can go around.
He unintentionally causes chaos.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Just because he's indestructible, he doesn't realize what kind of damage.
Chaos causes a lot of destruction.
He's an alien. I mean, okay. I'm not going to get into it.
Okay, well, see, they play him off as a dog, so
yeah, because dogs can pilot spaceships.
Nobody else around him is seeing him pilot the spaceship. See, you have to watch it.
No, I don't.
Well, it actually is pretty good. But
with the semi-impulses, with a new sense of responsibility, they all get to enjoy the beautiful sights, sounds, and tastes of Hawaii and the waves. This tasty waves, bud. That is until a new threat comes hunting for someone's favorite fuzzy blue boy. Mysterious giant robots seeking samples of Stitch's own DNA for their own nefarious purposes. In a brand new journey that will take readers across the world, will Stitch be able to protect his home and loved ones? And how can he ever be reunited with his Ohana if his presence always seems to endanger them? Well, maybe if you didn't have these violent, destructive tendencies or impulses or whatever.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. Rob, ladies and gentlemen, Stitch's defense attorney.
I know, huh?
I love Stitch. I'm sorry. He was the only one worthy to take over Alien Encounter.
Okay, the kickoff to this historic first ever Lilo and Stitch comic series features covers from four incredible artists and is set for a release sometime in 2024. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, Stitch. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I did not realize you felt so passionately about Stitch, man.
Neither
Out
did
of
I.
all the modern Disney, he's my favorite.
Well, it's understandable. Stitch is cuter than a bug's butt, but yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to go.
I don't know about
I'm
that
going to
one,
leave
but
that
okay.
one right where it sits, right there. All right, from the comic books being released this October 18th on Wednesday, at least here I highlight the number one issues and or major story or anniversary issues that are being released because those are the ones that have the most value interest to collectors and investors. Don't base your buying decisions solely on my opinion. It, after all, is only my opinion. To keep the list to a minimum. Okay, there's knowledge I didn't need. Thanks, Eric. Well, Stitch is a huge Elvis fan.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, funny thing is he can put his claw on a record player and open his mouth, and it just works just like a speaker.
And don't base your buying decisions solely on my opinion. It, after all, is only my opinion. To keep the list to a minimum, I do not include in it trade paperbacks, graphic novel collections, hardcover, softcover volumes, or reprints. If you are an independent comic book company or creator and you have something coming out, please let me know by sending me an email at popculturekaboom@gmail.com. Put upcoming comics in the subject line and include in the body of the email the publisher's name, the title of the books, when the books will be coming out, and the issue numbers so I can add your book or books in the future. First up from American Mythology Productions, Al Capone Vampire, #1 with 2 cover variants. Huh.
That's a combination I never thought I'd hear.
Yeah, okay. Well, now we know how
No need for a Tommy gun.
no.
Yeah, that's the most interesting variation I've heard ever since Weird Al opened Al Capone's glove box.
Okay. Victor Crawley's Hatchet Halloween Tales 5, number 1, with 4 cover variants. Archie Comics Publications has Fear the Funhouse presents Toy Box of Terror, number 1, with 2 cover variants. Binge Books has Barbara Macabri's Morbid Museum, number 1. Boom Studios has Berserker Pen and Ink, number 1, with 3 cover variants. Comics Experience Publishing has Gargoyles by Moonlight, number 1, one-shot with 3 cover variants. And Opus and Ashes, number 1, one-shot with 2 cover variants. Dark Horse Comics has Cyberpunk 2077 XOXO, number 1, with 4 cover variants. Headless Horseman Halloween Annual, number 1, with 3 cover variants. DC Comics has J. Garrick The Flash, number 1 of 6, with 4 cover variants. Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong, number 1 of 6, with a wallet-busting 8 cover variants.
That is a very busy comic book right there.
You know what? They've so overpowered Superman right at this point. I mean,
well, he kind of he goes through that.
Basically,
they overpower him, depower him, overpower him, depower him. It's been going like that since he's been created.
Just overpower Kong and with the
because in the Silver Age, he was able to shoot little clones of himself out of his hand. I mean, it's insane.
Yep. Okay. Well, it is time for that hard break. When we get back, it is the top of the hour break. So currently, there's an accident on U.S. Highway 50, and so avoid that if possible. And also, that's all it's going to tell me. All right. So with that being said, it is top of the hour break. When we get back, it is big interview time, as we will have Christohper Inlow and Nancy Ann Ritter on the line with us. So don't go anywhere. More Pop Culture Kaboom radio show coming up now. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom radio show. Everything you want, everything you need in pop culture entertainment. The only ones. A seemingly harmless weekend getaway turns into a chaotic nightmare, as this group proves that when you've got friends, who needs enemies? That is the official synopsis for the upcoming horror dark comedy film, The Only Ones. And we're talking live via phone with 2 of the stars of The Only Ones, the star of Scream, A Night of the Undead, and The Only Ones as writer, Nancy Ann Ritter, and the star of Ithaca, Voorhees, Supernatural Assassins, and The Only Ones, playing Nancy Ann Ritter's husband, James. Please welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom radio show, Christohper Inlow. And how are you 2 doing this evening? You guys there?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I was trying to be polite. So we weren't talking on top of each other.
Ah, okay, gotcha. Well, first off, Christohper.
I'm doing fine. How is everybody out there? How is everybody in the radio world? How's everybody listening in?
I'm sure they're fine if they could answer, but you're tying up the phone line, so they won't be able to call in. I'll see if they respond on Facebook. But I wanted to say happy belated birthday, sir.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I keep forgetting that it was my birthday the other day. More importantly, it was Edgar Allan Poe's death day.
Oh, okay. I don't generally celebrate somebody's death, so but that's good to know.
It was an interesting story because it was under really weird circumstances.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I was just saying, Christohper, more importantly, it was your birthday.
Yeah.
Then we'll place Edgar Allan Poe secondary to your birthday.
I don't know. Everybody always wonders, you look up on your birthday to see what else has happened on your birthday. And Edgar Allan Poe dying on my birthday, that's pretty cool.
Well, that is kind of cool in a way, I guess.
Most other people look up, like other celebrity birthdays, like Robert De Niro was born on my birthday, and Lois Lane's birthday is on my birthday. I've never looked up anybody else's death day.
I'm with him on that because my brother was born on Elvis's death day.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So,
I think
Elvis is like my fifth cousin.
Oh, nice.
Wow, that's impressive. So, guys, you both are in the upcoming film, The Only Ones. Was this your guys' first time working together?
Yes.
All of a sudden, Christopher's gone quiet. All right. I hope we didn't lose him.
I'm still here. No.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to be a gentleman and give my wife the opportunity to speak.
So how was that? How was it working on The Only Ones? I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing this. I know you guys have been promoting it. We did watch the teaser trailer, and I did see you guys both in the trailer, which was kind of interesting. Christopher, that you were holding a knife and
Right. I love the look on his face.
I know.
It wasn't quite psychotic.
And you had the voiceover in the trailer too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I landed the voice spot in the trailer with a monologue that I deliver in the film, and if you watch the trailer, I'm holding a knife at one point, I'm holding a gun at one point, and I'm beating somebody with my hands at one point.
And you're stabbed in the chest at one point too, but I didn't want to, no spoiler if you watch the teaser trailer, but that was kind of interesting too. So Nancy Ann, I got a question for you.
Yes.
You have an upcoming movie coming up, which is real. Don't want to miss this. It is coming out on Friday, October 27th. The Woodman is coming out. Congratulations! So you got 2 movies coming out in the near future.
Thank you. I've got I've got The Woodman, and then The Only Ones for everyone to know will come out. Well, it'll first show in Film Fest in spring 2024. And then I have a third film called The Girl 2, like the number 2, and it's a great cast like in The Only Ones and in The Woodman, and it's got Leonora Shelfo played the cheerleader with me in the bathroom scene in Scream. We're playing nurses in a mental institution, and in The Girl 2 and in The Only Ones, I play a big part, and so filmmakers are enjoying putting the Scream bathroom girls in their movies. Not to play the bathroom girl parts, but
just the chemistry between the two of you when you were on screen, though, in Scream.
Say again.
But they're putting you guys together because of your guys' chemistry together on film in the movie Scream.
Yes, and I think it's a fun thing. Like they like to be able to say in the promos that they've got the 2 bathroom girls from Scream in their film, and the chemistry and all of that. And then in The Woodman, we play lovers, and they're already going to do a sequel to The Woodman, and they are bringing the 2 lovers back, so the 2 of us back. And she is kind of...
Spoiler alert, I guess you lived through that movie.
Right?
Are y'all lovers in bathrooms?
So mean. I have to, as Jimmy said, not to use profanity, so I won't. But so she's so mean in that movie, in Scream, that no way could I be girlfriends with her. But yeah, so it was really, The Woodman was fun, and The Girl 2 with her, and The Girl 2's got a great actor named Gigi Edgley, who I've met she does a lot of comic conventions, so I've actually met her at some of the conventions before we even knew we were in The Girl 2, and she was in a TV show called Farscape, but she's in it, and then a former Playboy cover girl is the lead, and she plays the girl.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
I know. And then The Only Ones, I'm so excited because Christopher, as you all know, he and I got to play husband and wife, and he and I both live close to each other in Virginia, so it was really great because both Christopher and I love rehearsing, and then so to get to be able to rehearse in person together was a real luxury because you don't always get that if you live in different states.
Right.
So it was a really gratifying experience.
Oh, cool.
To work with Christopher.
Nancy Ann was absolutely incredible to work with, and she's right. I don't know if you follow me. I do a lot of rehearsing. I'm kind of like an obsessive person with my characters, and Nancy Ann was as well. So it was really cool to find out not only that she lived 15 minutes away from me, but there was no big arguments over, or not that anybody really argues, but no real big discussions on, so are we going to rehearse or not? It was like, yeah, what are we going to rehearse? All right, let's do it. Bam, get together, do it. Bam, get together and do it. And then we got up there and, we rock and rolled on it. We knew we worked off of each other really, really well. And we both have very warped sense of humors.
Nice.
So,
Yes. Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
So do you think?
And it was nice. I was just going to say, sorry, I totally cut you off. I was just going to say it was really nice, since we're playing husband and wife, to really have that history and relationship formed way before getting on set. So it wasn't like when we get on set, we're saying, oh, hi, I'm Nancy Ann, and nice to meet you, that richness of being married was already there.
Right, the chemistry was already formed.
We're married. Y'all just don't know that.
So do you guys go hop down to Vegas or anything like that?
No. We're not. We're
I guess you could come be live in y'all's show, right? That's where you're at?
No, we're actually in Carson City, Nevada.
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. Vegas, Nevada.
I'm so glad you said shoot. You gave me a mini heart attack there for a second. But I was going to say, but Nancy kind of answered it, but I was going to ask you, Chris, so do you think that helped with the chemistry on set with Nancy Ann, being able to rehearse actually in person before the movie actually started rolling?
I think it did. You can tell by watching the trailer that I have a very intense character. So it's nice to be able to know what level I can take it to without terrorizing the actress that I'm working with.
Well, and luckily he's not to give anything away in the only. Well, yeah, I can't really give anything away about
unless you say you're going to be in a sequel. That's
right.
it.
Yeah. I don't want to divulge anything about our relationship in the movie, so I'll just be silent.
Okay.
In case I give any too many details, but yeah.
All right. Well, quick question. I'm going to start with you, Nancy Ann. So the experience with doing The Only Ones. I know this is a horror dark comedy. Is it more of a kind of a comedic vibe to it, or more of a horror, or do you feel there's a good balance between the two?
Well, it's I think a good balance. As far as my character with Christopher, there was no comedic. There was no. It was pretty much very dramatic. Very, very much dramatic scenes with Christopher. So there was no comedy for me to play at all, actually. But as far as the whole film is concerned, there's and ask Christopher too. I want to make sure whether he agrees or not. But I think the tone of it and the other characters, there's a lot of fun interplay and comedic moments. Would you say so, Christopher, between the other characters? I think
everybody played it straight. I think people are going to find a lot of humor when there's no slapstick in it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's just things that happen, and there's the way that people deal with it, and it's a lot like real life, where just something happens that's very serious, and you're just kind of laughing at the situation, or you handle it like really screwed up. So I think it's funny as hell, but it's played very very straight. So I didn't play it very straight. As my character's kind of just given away right there in the trailer to a point. There's a lot of little twists that everybody will see when they watch it. But Nancy Ann is like, she is the calm to my insanity.
Interesting.
Well, you do need an eye to the storm.
Yeah. So with everything that I'm hoping that, because all I've been able to see so far is the teaser trailer. Right. So any idea when either the next trailer or when the movie itself would be released? Because it just says coming soon at the end of that teaser trailer.
So I was just with Jordan Miller at a haunted. I was signing, doing my Girl in Bathroom Scream autograph at a haunted attraction in Maryland this past weekend, and Jordan Miller, the writer-director, was appearing there as well with his podcast called Camp Nightmare, and he'd given me a bunch of new postcards to pass out for the only ones at my conventions, and I asked him, and he is planning on spring 2024, and he'll first release the film into the film fest, a bunch of different film festivals, and then it just rolls out from there.
Well, if you can plant a bug in his
2024.
ear, we do have coming up next year in about August, September, is the Cordillera International Film Festival. And that is, it has been rated one of the top 25 film festivals in the world, or top 100 film festivals in the world. So, and plus it gives you an opportunity to come back up to Reno and I can interview you again.
Yes, I would love that. It's so funny, Jimmy. Reno seems like forever ago, and that was
just in July.
That was just in July, and it's so I would love to get to see you again in person. So I'll definitely mention that to Jordan, and that would be so fun to get to see each other in person again, because that was my very first time in Reno. So that was so fun. It was just so fast being the one day convention, but it was a great time and great to get to talk with you there.
Yeah, I thought you were. I was surprised I made you laugh.
Well, and I feel like I'm not old, but I'm having major senior moment because I can't even. I'm glad I made you laugh. I can't even remember what I said in our conversation.
Oh, you said something. You said something, and I went brown chicken, brown cow, and you started laughing and you high fived me. So.
Did I say something dirty?
Yes, I'm sure you. I'm pretty sure you did.
I'm sure you got a non-FCC regulated joke.
Yeah,
For him
I
to
don't think it's
respond
something we
with
can
his
mention
brown
right.
chicken, brown cow.
Yeah, it can go on YouTube,
Yes,
but
I
it
got
can't go
that.
on air right here. But so Christopher, would you be able to join her as well if the Only Ones comes to the Cordillera International Film Festival and join her up here in Reno?
I'm sure Nancy Ann can back me on this. It really depends on the shooting schedule of what's going on. I have a lot of stuff on my plate, and I try to do conventions. I try to do whatever I can do to get out and meet people, but I'm always on a set somewhere or gearing up to go on a set. So I would absolutely love to be out there with you guys and to hang out and like really raise some hell.
Well, it is Reno, so you're
More
supposed.
reason
it's a
for
good
them
place
to
for it.
have those film
It's
studios
funny
up
you
here.
asked that, Jimmy, because a film I did years ago, an independent film called Charlie's Party, I think back in 2005, it got into the Cine Vegas Film Festival, which is a nice festival, but the filmmakers, it was low budget, and they were like, we want you to come to the premiere. And I said, well, can you fly me there? I mean, I was living in New York City, a working actor, not with really a savings account, living basically, paycheck to paycheck, paying my rent and bills, and they couldn't afford to fly me. So I was like, well, I'd love to be there, but I can't, pay to fly myself to the Cine Vegas one. So I hope with Cordillera, with the film festivals, I would definitely go to every single one if the producers of the Only Ones could fly me out there.
Well,
that's the tricky thing with
we'll wait and see.
Plant that seed in the producer's ear, or plant that little.
Definitely.
But it's hard with the
Hey, I got to take a hard break. Can you guys stick around for another segment?
I can stick around for as long as you want.
All right, we'll be back with more with Nancy Ann Ritter and Christopher Inlow. We're discussing The Only Ones, their upcoming movie that'll be coming out in spring of 2024, and we'll be right back after this.
Woo!
And welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show. We are talking with Nancy Ann Ritter and Christohper Inlow. They are two of the stars of the upcoming horror comedy, The Only Ones. And they're the only ones who matter right now because we're talking to them. So, Nancy, I do got a quick question for you. Nancy Ann?
Yes.
Okay, there
you
are. You just got done doing Distorted Dreams Haunt over the weekend. Congratulations on that. And you are have an upcoming slated. You are going to be at Atomic Monster Weekend in Mesa, Arizona, October 27th and the 29th. And then you got a kind of a clear schedule until you do the Cult Classic Convention in, I'm going to mispronounce this because it just looks...
Bastrop, Texas, which
Thank
is
you.
part of Austin.
Thank you so much, Nancy.
You have no idea.
I never had heard of Bastrop until they hired me. I've got a few more. I've got, before Atomic Monster Weekend, I've got New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival, October 20th to October 22nd, that got added in. And then, Atomic Monster Weekend in Mesa, Arizona, October 27th to the 29th. And then I have Akron Comic-Con in Ohio, November 4th and 5th. And I kind of, with Facebook and Instagram, I kind of try to promote it like as each one comes up. And then 2024, I'm getting that slate up and going. So far, the first one in 2024 is the Cult Classic Convention, March 1st to the 3rd. And then I've got some more after that in 2024. So it's been really fun. I just started doing the conventions in 2022, so it's been very unexpected that they came along and been very fun to get to do.
Awesome. And we actually, I got to talk with you at the Silver Age Comic Con up here in Reno last year. There was only their second year too, so it was a very fun conversation that we had.
Yeah, and my daughter fell in love with her at the con. She hung out with them all day.
Aww.
That's right. We had the best time.
Yeah.
Oh, the best time. That was really special. Just getting to spend time with your daughter was really, really special. She was the highlight of that day for sure.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I'm sure she'll be very glad to hear that too.
Yes, please tell her I say hi.
I will do so.
Christohper.
Yes, sir.
You have a big one coming up here in the near future. It's in pre-production right now, but the movie Laugh will be
my gosh. Yeah.
You almost forgot.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. And I remember when you and by the way, I responded to you on Facebook. A movie with good Russian accents was
Night Watch.
Night Watch.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually a Russian horror movie that came out in 2004.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at that. Yeah, I'll be doing a Russian accent for this particular film, but it's a different kind. Now I've done actually a Russian accent in a film before. I was in the world's first 360-degree full immersion virtual reality film. It was the first movie ever made that you watch with the Oculus Rift glasses, and I had a supporting role in that. And it was so top secret because I guess there were other companies, and everybody's like, it's like the race to the moon. Everybody's trying to be the first ones to get it out there. So, I had no idea what I was walking into, and had I not known somebody involved in the production, then I wouldn't have showed up at all. It seemed really sketchy to be like, show up in Washington, D.C. at this time, and we can't tell you what it's about, and we can't tell you what it is. And I get there, and I walk on the set, and I don't see any cameras. I don't see anything. And it's like, all right, well, you're going to be playing the role of a Russian. I'm like, well, I haven't prepared to do a Russian accent at all. And there was a girl that spoke Russian on the set. And so basically, if you were to see that, me doing Russian on that particular set is basically like my impersonation of this Russian girl that was there.
That you met 5 minutes earlier, huh?
Right. Well, when I was reading for the role for Laugh, when I was doing the audition with that, it was like I was doing the same exact audition. Like, no, that's not the Russian accent we're looking for. And I'm like, well, shoot.
Well, this movie will help you out then, because it was actually it's a Russian film, so it'll help you out with that.
Yeah, so at least you weren't basing your accent on Chekhov from Star Trek.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a very cool role, and there's a lot of really cool people that are involved. Steve Barton, who is the executive producer of Terrifier 2, which is making a lot of noise. He is also the executive producer of Laugh. And the whole thing was put together by Peter Anthony Productions. And if you haven't seen any of his stuff, like, he's a real big Friday the 13th fan. And he started making all these, like, all these fan films. And I was involved in a fan film many moons ago. And so that's how he and I had met each other. And I don't really mess around with the whole fan film thing, although I do love to watch them. But he told me that he was working on a film that wasn't a fan film, and that Terry Kaiser, who played Bernie in Weekend at Bernie's, is also one of the stars. Okay, and aside from Weekend at Bernie's, he was also the doctor in Friday the 13th Part 7. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so like you don't realize that, or at least I didn't realize that until probably a couple of years ago. I'm like, hold on, they're the same guy? And it's not like they look any different. It's just so far.
It's just so out of context.
Side. Yeah, it's completely. But yeah, no. So Laugh is going to be a lot of fun, and I start shooting that next month, and no, we're ready to rock and roll on that. But there's another one. Have y'all heard of the movie Six?
We did now.
Like the number 6?
Yep, the number 6.
This is an anthology that I'm involved in, and I'll be shooting that in L.A. and in Oregon. And I believe Kane Hodder is involved, and Rihanna Nicole is one of the stars in it, if y'all know her. Bill Moseley, I believe, is involved. Debbie Rochon is involved. So there's a lot of big, like, horror genre names involved in that as well. So there's definitely a lot of stuff that's going on. And but yeah, I'm glad you brought Laugh up. So
no problem.
We're excited. Everybody's super excited about it. The script is really fun. I think it's going to knock the socks off some people. So woo!
So Nancy Ann, I got a question for you.
Yes.
So I think this was a golden missed opportunity, but I would really enjoy seeing this if this is at all possible. Have you ever thought of doing a podcast or a YouTube channel?
Well, so I haven't started promoting it yet, just because I'd been out of town. But two really great guys, Jeremy Courtney and Kevin Crook, spelled like Crook, Crook.
Spells how it sounds.
I met Jeremy, who goes by Jar Jar, a year ago at a couple conventions, and he thought it was hilarious. I do a lot of people's YouTube shows and podcasts. They, bring me on for interviews and such. And they always ask me, oh, what's your favorite Wes Craven film other than Scream? And what are your favorite horror films? And at that point, I haven't seen very many because I was always too afraid. I hadn't seen Nightmare on Elm Street. Now I have the first one, but I still haven't seen Friday the 13th. And so Jeremy Courtney thought that was hilarious because he had me on a couple of his panels at two of these conventions, and he asked me, would I want to do a show? And he said, we want to call it The Re-Education of Nancy Ann Ritter. And so they just released the first 2 episodes, and they have me watch a horror film. They assign it to me, like maybe one per month. And so the first one was The Shining. So they have about 4 episodes in the bank. And so they have me watch the film, and then they bring me on the show, and Kevin Crook is the expert on each film, and so he starts off the show, and then Jeremy hasn't seen all of the films, or he's seen them, but it's been many years. And so we each, and then me, of course, I haven't seen the film. So we all three then volley back and forth what our reactions are from me seeing it for the first time, Jeremy revisiting it, and then Kevin, who's seen every horror film known to man several times. And so the first one they had me watch was The Shining, so they just released that episode. The second one I think they just released was, the one with Bruce Campbell, Evil Dead 2, the second one.
Yeah. Well, that's basically a recap of the first one for the first half anyway, so you don't need to watch the first one if you watch the second one.
So they wanted me to watch the sequel first, and then the third one, was Nightmare on Elm Street, and then my next assignment is to watch Hellraiser.
Ooh.
So they released the first 2 episodes, and I keep, every time I come on the show, and they do the show for longer, and then Kevin edits it down to about a 30-minute episode. And oh Lord, I just blanked what I was going to say. But oh dear, it was something. Not that I want to say it was something good, but something I think of interest to you all, and I just blanked. But yeah, they'll keep. Whenever I come on the show, I say, you guys are just ripping my life apart with these films. Especially The Shining. I was just like, what are you doing to me?
Well, keep that ripping my life apart in mind when you watch Hellraiser, right?
Yes.
Oh, God. And I didn't know. I never knew. And then I'll totally be quiet. I didn't realize, so I just started watching it, and then I had to stop. But so Andrew Robinson, the lead guy, I went to Northwestern University. It was a theater major, and his daughter, Rachel Robinson, was a theater major, and I had no idea that was her dad. I knew he actually became a really wonderful theater director in L.A. and ran a great little theater company in L.A. when I was living there, but I didn't realize he was an actor as well. I knew he was a theater actor, but I had no idea he was a movie actor, and so they look a lot alike, he and his daughter, and she's a wonderful actor and has started acting again, but it just tickled me so that I was like, that's Rachel's dad, and I've just seen the first couple scenes, but I'm glad you prepared me. So Hellraiser's going to scare the bejesus out of me.
It's
more
different.
gory.
It's more gory than it definitely doesn't have jump scares like a lot of movies nowadays. It's like all in it for the jump scare. This one is just a little bit more.
Yeah, this one definitely establishes the gore and atmosphere.
Yeah, very quickly too.
Okay.
And the first one's very psychological too.
Oh yeah. Well, the reason why I was bringing all this up, Nancy, because I know that Lenora had the booth next to you at the Silver Age Comic Con, and it seems like you guys have a really good relationship together, and you've been in a couple of movies together. I just thought it'd be really cool thought if you guys had a podcast or a YouTube channel together. You could call it. And I got it from Stall Talk with Nancy Ann and Lenora.
Oh my God!
That sounds amazing.
That's an amazing. That's hilarious. That's such an amazing title, and I hadn't. We've been friends since 1996 when Scream happened, and no one said that to me about us doing our own little shows. So I love the name Stall Talk, and so that would be fun.
Oh my gosh! And do it as like a reactionary.
Oh, or anything.
Like a reactionary podcast as she's watching these horror movies.
The two of them, both of them have very, very, very extensive film careers, and so both of them just talking about the films that they were in. I think that'd be a good, content for either a podcast or for a YouTube channel show.
Films they were in, films they've seen.
They do reaction videos together. That would be hilarious.
Well, thank you for mentioning that. I'll have to talk to her about that, and
don't worry, we'll waive Jimmy's usual 10%.
Yeah, my usual 10% fee. I'll waive at this time.
No, you would get the whatever fee one gives Jimmy. I would more than that would only be, I was immediately thinking that would be only the right thing to do, especially
a pound
if we
of coffee.
Call it
Yeah, actually, to be quite honest, yeah, a pound of coffee. I go through that stuff like you wouldn't believe. That is the fifth food group to me. No, chocolate's the fifth food group. But yeah, coffee is the nectar of the gods. Trust me, that's how I view it. So, but
would you do it with us or
you know what? I would love to come on if you guys do put together a podcast or a YouTube show. Yes, I will definitely come on one episode and to say hi. And actually, if you guys do put something together, I'd like to have you both of you on to talk back on the show to talk about it. So that
kind of help each other out. And, yeah, get exposure for each other. Yeah.
If that works for you. And Christohper Inlow.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You have a, if everybody wants to go and check them out, Nancy Ann Ritter is on the Facebook, as well as Christohper Inlow, and you can join the Christohper Inlow fan club, which is a group on the Facebook as well. Oh, I don't know what.
It's a wonderful fan page.
Fan club. The idea behind that is just, it's so funny because I saw people making fan clubs for themselves. And I always had this vision of like my face and a heart on a shirt surrounded by glitter.
Tiger Beat magazine.
What?
Exactly. So that's where when it's a joke. The whole thing was a joke to me, and I just kind of let it go. And it's so funny to me whenever I even hear somebody mention the name, the Christohper Inlow fan club, because it's me that's running the whole thing. Like, who runs their own fan club?
You.
Me.
No, there's usually like that president.
But here's the problem. There's people in the fan club. I couldn't do a
Why
fan
is that
club.
a problem?
There's no problem with that. That's what I'm saying. He's complaining about I'm the one who runs it, but you got fans in your fan club.
No, I mean, it's very cool that there's people that follow me on there. I have a very loyal fan base, very loving fan base, and if anybody joins it that's listening to this, when I go on sets, I get opportunities to do some pretty cool things and meet some cool people and stuff. So I've been able to get autographs and stuff and raffle them off, not for money, but just, say you're interested, and all the names go into a bowl and names get drawn out. And, so I've been able to send out some really cool stuff from various people that I've worked with in different projects and stuff that are, celebrities, especially like Eduardo Sanchez, the director of the Blair Witch Project, is really active in the area that I'm in, on top of like flying back and forth to LA, but he signed a bunch of stuff. So,
well, hey, Christohper, I'm sorry, man, but I'm up against that hard break. Nancy Ann Ritter and Christohper Inlow, I do appreciate you both being on the show to talk about the Only Ones. When we get closer to the release in the spring, I'd love to have you both back on the show again.
Absolutely.
That would be wonderful.
All right.
Thanks so much for having us.
No problem.
Thank you.
You guys take care. Have a happy Halloween, and we'll talk again soon. Again, you can go and find Nancy Ann Ritter on the Facebook, as well as Christohper Inlow on the Facebook, and we'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Happy Halloween.
Welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom radio show. Everything you want, everything you need in pop culture entertainment. So after watching the teaser trailer for The Only Ones and having a conversation with Nancy Ann Ritter and Christohper Inlow, what do you think? Are you interested in checking this movie out?
Oh yeah, I am. Not only because the movie does look like it could be a one heck of a ride, but like I said, my daughter fell in love with Nancy Ann Ritter when she was at the Silver State Comic Con. So I'll go and support anybody who makes my daughter feel like she's number one in the world.
Oh, okay. Rob?
Oh yeah, no, it actually looks like a good one. I appreciated the very end of the trailer there when they had that one girl tied up in the woods, and you had the red eyes coming, and it turned out to be like, I don't know, porcupines or something. Porcupines. I don't know what exactly it was, but it was comedic to me. It was like, oh no, she's gonna get eaten by something, and it was like porcupines.
Oh, yeah, I thought that was a raccoon. I
don't know what exactly
Just
it
these
was.
red eyes were sitting
Yeah.
there in the darkness.
There was just some kind of
There was
rodent.
like a bunch of them, so it was like, oh my gosh, what is that?
It sounded like raccoons. There was that noise that was going on back there. That was the worst raccoon impersonation ever. But
or
anyway,
the best. I mean, one way or the other.
Well, they're not clamoring on the window of the radio station here, so I'd say that was not a very good one. Or maybe it was, and that's why they're not clamoring to get in here. And kill
Yeah,
me.
you just did the Arnold
stupid.
Schwarzenegger of squirrel impressions, raccoon
guess so.
impressions.
All right,
So-
so let me finish up with the comic books because there's a couple of funny ones in here. We left off with the DC Comics with Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, number 1 of 6, with a wallet-busting 8-cover variants. Then you got Dead Sky Publishing with a splatter western one-shot, number 1 of 4, Swallower of Shades.
Swallower of Shades.
That is the title. I don't know why it put after all of that, but
Well, Swallower of Shades, I guess.
Splatter Western?
a splatter western one-shot.
That
number
sounds
1.
like an interesting genre.
Yeah. Dynamite Entertainment as Gargoyles Halloween Special number 1. Don't rack your brains. With only a wallet-busting 7 cover variants.
Wow, that's very restrained of them.
Was it is it gargoyles based off of like the Disney gargoyles?
You know,
or?
I didn't look. Quite
Okay.
honestly, I just saw gargoyles. So probably since they do have that.
I know they do a lot of IP, so that's why I wasn't sure.
So it could be the gargoyles.
Well, if it is, that was a great show. So I would probably check it out.
Halloween special. IDW Publishing has Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, number 1, written by Dr. Seuss.
I know. I was just gonna say
with
the Lorax.
4 cover
Beneath
variants.
the trees where nobody sees, but everybody pees. I mean,
Okay, didn't want to go there, but My Little Pony, Black, White, and Blue, number 1, with 4 cover variants. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Best of Bebop and Rocksteady, number 1.
I'm finally glad they get their own movie.
Image Comics has Hack / Back to School, number 1 of 4, with 4 cover variants. Marvel Comics has Crypt of Shadows, number 1, with 3 cover variants. Sensational She-Hulk, number 1, with a bank-busting 10 cover variants. Spine-Tingling Spider-Man, number 1, with a wallet-busting 5 cover variants. Oni Press has Man from Maybe, number 1 of 3, with a Man from Maybe, number 1 of 3, with a bank-busting 10 cover variants. Scout Comics has Beautiful Soldier, number 1 with 2 cover variants. Bite-Sized Tales of Terror, number 1 with 2 cover variants. Black Friday, number 1, which was a Scout Legacy edition. Granite State Punk Breaking Edge, number 1, with 2 cover variants. And Grit, number 1, which is also a Scout Legacy edition. Xenoscope Entertainment has Robin Hood Dark Shaman, number 1, with 4 cover variants. Yeah.
Robin Hood Dark Shaman.
well, it's been a while since I've heard about any kind of a Robin Hood thing,
Yeah.
especially in comics.
Well, they've had their Robin Hood character going, but it's a female. So
Okay, yeah, that's true.
all the Xenoscope's characters all their leads are female.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because Belle from Beauty and the Beast and the Van Helsing. Yeah, okay.
So,
I'm excited about the Hatchet Victor Crowley ones.
really?
Yeah.
Big fan, huh?
They're the greatest.
Okay.
If you haven't seen, you have to see them. Like Hatchet
I
1,
do.
2, 3. Yeah.
Oh well, this is like his 3rd or 4th comic book. So have you? Seen
No,
him
I
before?
haven't seen. No, I haven't.
Oh,
yeah.
you gotta get.
I didn't know. I didn't realize until now. I'm like, oh my gosh, he has comics. That's great. I
Yeah,
love
he
it.
does. Yeah, you gotta check him out. Go stop by Dreamwell Comics.
What's great about the movies is that there's always iconic horror, like B-movie horror actors and actresses in each of the.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's great.
Another one you should check out. I've had him on the show too. Is Eben Press. They did a lot. They did what's that guy's name who did Zombie?
Who did Zombie?
Oh,
The director,
blast it.
Italian guy.
Oh, Dario Argento.
No, the other guy, Fulci, not Fulci. Folk, whatever.
I know who you're talking about. I know.
Anyway,
yeah.
they've
It's killing me.
Yeah, he did Maniac, I guess. Yeah, they've done a lot of comic book series off of horror franchises like that.
yeah.
Fulci, yeah, that's it. Okay, Soho Live, the Tahoe-based live music company, has partnered with Eric Baron, a.k.a. Concerned Ape, to reveal this Stardew Valley Festival of Seasons concert series. As you may have guessed from the name, this will be an intimate and immersive concert that will tour around and play iconic tunes from the farming video game. Fans will hear everything from the opening theme to music you'll hear in certain areas and events, all the way to epic tunes that can only be... This is like it was translated from Google Translate or something. It's like reading weird. That can only be experienced at certain moments, transforming the sounds of the beloved game through a chamber orchestra. The concert program will take fans on a musical journey through the 4 seasons of the valley, its unforgettable festivals, and its beloved villagers. Music that fans know and love from the game will be performed by a chamber orchestra featuring top local talent, promising an intimate performance that stays true to the relaxing vibes of the game. I'm so glad I've never heard of this game.
You've never heard of Stardew Valley?
Yeah, I have friends who play it obsessively.
Yeah. It's
just a nice little retro 16-bit game.
It's reminiscent of Animal Crossing mixed
which
with
I've never played.
a traditional farming XP game.
Which I've never played.
So
I've had to do farming in video games, or what do they call it, grinding, but I've never...
No. This is actual farming.
Oh,
like you farm carrots and...
Wow,
Yeah.
okay. Each section of the...
I've played it very briefly. It was not for me.
Yeah. But
I can tell just from the description it's not for me.
Well, yeah, and I have friends who play it, but they do farm, but they actually like to go cave spelunking in it too, so you can actually do other stuff.
Besides farming, in a farming game.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, I hope the music's worth it because they're doing a whole
I don't know.
concert
It's
series
usually
on it.
pixelated on the game, so that's
Well,
why
it's like 16-bit music being done full orchestra, so it's got to be interesting.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, each section of the show represents one of the 4 seasons with accompanying music from the game, plus other memorable songs from the game's locations, festivals, and villagers, carefully curated by Eric with arrangements led by, I'm not going to try and pronounce that one of Thailand's leading young conductors. Fans can look forward to hearing many of the game's most popular songs, such as Stardew Valley Overture, Spring, The Valley Comes Alive, and Dance of the Moonlight Jellies. Plus, it sounds like a SpongeBob episode, but anyway. Plus, plenty of surprises and fan-favorite deep cuts. There's fan-favorite deep cuts. The limited U.S. run starts in Los Angeles, California on February 17th and ends March 10th in St. Louis, Missouri, before heading to Canada for 2 dates. Okay.
Wow, covering Canada in 2 dates.
Canada, eh? No, they're just doing 2 shows in Canada.
Yeah.
I don't know why. For a number of reasons, that there's many levels to that question. EA Sports recently revealed their plans for the next esports season in NHL 24, as they have an entire World Championship tournament ready to go next year. Working with Battlefly, the company unveils its plan to kick off a series of events starting in January and proceeding for a few months as they gather European and North American teams for an eventual world final. The annual tournament showcases the best EA Sports NHL 24 players in the world and commences in January 2024 with registration opening in December of 2023. This season's hashtag NHL24WC will comprise a number of new features, including 6 players total, 4 from North America and 2 from Europe, advancing to the World Final event to compete in person for the elusive World Championship title, championship belt, and grand prize.
For NHL?
For NHL 24
Nice.
game.
Yeah. So basically a bunch of armchair
NHL players.
E-athletes playing real athletes to win real money and stuff.
I didn't get
More
that.
power to you.
EA Sports. I didn't get that at all. I just know that they're going to be doing some kind of worldwide esports event for it for NHL 24.
Yeah, for NHL, features the real, they play as the real athletes. So,
I thought you meant like play against.
No,
that's why I was like, what? I don't remember.
No, they're
that.
playing as e-athletes playing as real athletes to win probably as much money, if not more so, than a lot of them actual athletes actually make.
Okay. Bandai Namco revealed a brand new Pac-Man title, as players soon will be able to play Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle Chomp Champs.
That's a mouthful.
Yes. No pun intended.
I don't like it.
This is basically what would happen if you take the characters and settings from the franchise and drop them into Battle Royale scenario. If you attended the New York Comic Con this past weekend at the Javits Center, you were one of the lucky that were the first to play it. For the rest of us, Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle Chomp Champs brings a lot of variety and features that make playing it unique. Its uniquely Pac-Man take on Battle Royale even more fun. In the game, players must eat their way through multiple interconnected mazes to become the Chomp Champ, a.k.a. the last pack standing at the end of each match. Gain the upper hand on other players or turn the tables against ghosts by utilizing a variety of power items, which give Pac-Man shields, enhanced speed, and more. Players can also sabotage their competition by using power items that help the ghosts. Not only will they be able to chomp through Pac-Man's regular diet of dots and the occasional fruit, but they can also chomp through other player-controlled Pac-Man characters. Players can also assert their own unique style of personalizing their pack with a fun variety of body, head, and face cosmetics. Okay.
Body and head are kind of the same thing with a Pac-Man, aren't they?
I think so, yeah. And face. It's all one thing right there. But anyway.
Well, probably facial expressions or,
Yeah.
Well, I know Pac-Man was fun to play in Smash Brothers, but this sounds like well above that detail level.
For those who enjoy healthy competition, Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle Chomp Champs lets players compete in ranked or elimination modes or spectate matches regionally or from the global leaderboard. The 64-player Battle Royale game is further enhanced with cross-platform play and skill-based matchmaking, broadening the field for competition while also letting players choose who they want to compete against. No word on when it will be available, but I guarantee you they're going to have an esport for it at some point in time.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
That just seems like a lot of complicated Pac-Man.
Way overly complicating Pac-Man.
Yeah.
The first video game star ever. He really was.
Oh, yeah, here in the U.S.,
I
absolutely.
mean, I like the
They even
world.
made a song about him.
I like the Pac-Man world. That was cool, but this is too much.
Way too much for you?
Well, yeah, like I said, he was featured in Smash Brothers because of, for Smash Brothers Ultimate, they did a lot of homages to video game history. So, they had to kind of had to have him in there.
Well, yeah, you can't leave him out.
Yeah, and he was fun to play, but this sounds like way beyond that.
Creator Thomas Van Buell and VR publisher Creature, run by industry veteran Doug North Cook, revealed their next game, Laser Dance.
Laser Dance.
I'm not making this stuff up. Announced at MetaConnect, this mixed reality game turns your living room into a laser obstacle course.
Oh, I see this going bad in so many different ways.
Which you'll have to navigate through without touching any of the beams. Now, they should really up that game and make them real lasers that cut off limbs. But anyway,
See,
I digress.
that's great because we actually were thinking of that. Like when, do you guys remember the Sean Connery movie with Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Entrapment.
And they spent that whole time learning all the gymnastic moves to get through all the lasers and stuff. We're like, that'd be so cool to have that in our house.
Now you will, yeah. And now you're too old to actually be able to move.
Well, maybe
spend a day limbering up.
maybe I'll have different difficulty levels. You'll have hard difficulty, medium difficulty, easy difficulty, and old difficulty.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. The game will take you on a challenging puzzle run as you'll have to navigate the beams in different challenges, ranging from simple obstacle courses to full-on dance performances. All without touching the laser beams in the unique VR challenge. I would look like Elaine.
Okay,
from
now
Seinfeld.
I really want this.
I hope people definitely clear out their lamps and stuff from around the basic area in the living room.
Oh my god, I want this now.
All without touching the laser beams in this unique VR challenge title. Turn any room of your house into a laser obstacle course and Laser Dance, a game designed from the ground up for Pass through AR on MetaQuest. A level in Laser Dance consists of a sequence of laser patterns, which are parametrically generated to adapt to the room size and layout. Players move between 2 buttons on opposite ends of the rooms with each button press go through the next laser pattern until they reach the end of the level. The core gameplay of Laser Dance can be understood in seconds, making it the perfect accessible party game for newcomers to VR, AR. Laser Dance will arrive on the MetaQuest store sometime in 2024.
Okay, I think that it's even better now that it's AR. Like, because watching AR happen, like people play HR, is like great.
Oh, I know.
You know, now to see them actually like dance against invisible laser beams.
Yeah, that would be fun to watch.
Spoons not included. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. Anyway, with that music coming up in a minute, it is a top of the hour break. There's still an accident on U.S. Highway 50, but it is 60 degrees and clear in Carson City. When we get back, it'll be movie time with Mr. Tony Sanfilippo. So don't go anywhere. More Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show and plenty of time for your phone calls as well. So don't go anywhere. More Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show right after this. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show. Everything you want, everything you need in pop culture entertainment. Each week, the film powers that be release dozens of movies, some of which you will never hear about except here. Each week's upcoming releases are carefully picked over from Rotten Tomatoes, and up to 5 films are selected from genres that I would watch, and those genres are action, adventure, horror, science fiction, anime, or fantasy, and that is pretty much it. With that in mind, we sit through some of the most hideous trailers ever made, like this week, and we'll read you the synopsis of each film, then give you our not-so-humble opinions. Bear in mind, we are not professional movie critics. We're just overly opinionated blowhards. But Mr. Tony Sanfilippo of Filippo's Horrible Reviews is, and you can catch all of Tony Sanfilippo's reviews of concerts, television shows, and movies at Filippo's Horrible Reviews. And how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good, buddy. It's good to be on tonight. Not stuck at work, so that's a good thing.
Always a good thing. And sorry about your
absolutely.
Broncos.
Oh, no, actually, at this point, just lose. Just lose. Let's get the number 1 pick. Let's just go.
Well, you got some
you know
competition
what'll
there.
happen is they'll go after Caleb Williams. That's who they'll gun for. And then in typical Bronco fashion, that kid will say, "Nah, I make more than in college. I'm good." He'll turn us down. So, yeah, that's how that's going to go. So,
Well,
I keep saying it can't get any worse, but
yeah, they
it
could.
gets worse.
They could be like the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, I know. They're so bad. So bad. Kudos, the Jags won today. That's
Yeah,
good.
I know. I was happy about that. I turned on the TV. It was 14-3. I was like, all right. They jumped out early. So they swept the Colts already. So that's one less problem with the AFC South going forward. So now it's just the Texans are kind of up and down every week. So they were up
you never know what you're going to get. They look good today.
Yeah, which kind of bugs me because, getting into it now, Jaguars play the Saints on Thursday. And the Saints lost to the Texans, but are the Saints now going to bounce back against the Jaguars? And the Jaguars are going to be back to the same old, or, who knows? But
you never know. Well, it's like today, the Niners lost their first one against the Browns, and then you had the Eagles lose to the Jets.
I know. So
And currently the Giants are beating the Bills in the fourth quarter. So
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you got a lot of weird stuff going on. Now, granted, it's not like a blowout in the Monday night or the Sunday night game. It's 7-9 with 4 minutes left. The Bills are driving. But right now, as I tell you this, the Giants are winning. So
they're going to blame injuries and jet lag like they did last week with the Jaguars.
yeah.
They actually blame jet lag.
They actually blame jet lag, yeah.
I was going to say,
people who've been doing this stuff for years.
Every week,
okay. They played in England.
Oh,
so but yeah,
it's still a cop out. But
it is a cop out.
Yeah, there's always something. Like as a Bronco fan, you blame somebody new every week. Oh, it's Russell. Oh, it's the coach. Oh, it's Sean Payton. Oh, it's the defense. Oh, how about the?
It's the front office.
Yeah, the whole thing sucks.
That's because Taylor Swift showed up at our stadium.
Yeah, Taylor jinxed us, man. So yeah.
Well,
Swifties. We got Swifties on Thursday.
Well, at least this year the Jaguars gave me a birthday present by winning instead of losing, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, that was nice of them.
That is very nice. That's
Yeah.
a good one, Jimmy.
That's a nice way to look at it. All right, here on the Pop
Nice
Culture
way.
Boom radio show, we utilize a carefully crafted and patented movie rating system when talking about the movies, and it goes as follows. If it is worth seeing at a theater at full price, it is a good, not a great. That is to be determined by you if you choose to see it in the theater. If it is worth seeing in a theater as a matinee or in your town's cheap theater, it is a so-so. If it is worth seeing on a streaming service or as a rental or however you choose to watch the film while avoiding social interaction, it is a blah. And if it is deemed so awful you should wait for it to be on public television, it is considered a touch brown because FCC regulations say we can't use profanity. So we got 5 movies for you this week, and I apologize in advance, guys, for these movies. I don't make them. I just pick them. So I guess it's only half my fault. I'm going to throw the dart at the proverbial dartboard here, and might as well start with what I consider the worst one of the bunch, Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. And here's the synopsis. The story follows fledgling Satanist Marcus J. Trilberry, a.k.a. Onyx, as he attends a once-in-a-lifetime ritual at his idol Bortok the Great's dark mansion. Once there, Marcus meets a group of other worshippers, as the group is led by Bortok and his assistant Farah Fawcett? No. In a series of rituals meant to better them, it becomes clear that their intentions are more nefarious. As his new friends are losing the battle to keep their souls, a question of great destiny looms over Onyx's head. Is he doomed to be a nobody, or is he the only one who can defeat Bortok and save his friends from damnation? I don't care. I really don't. Isn't it weird when a Saturday Night Live skit gets the full movie treatment? Is it just me, or is this guy starring in this dumb horror comedy the same guy who was doing those YouTube videos where he was different witnesses to various crimes? You remember the one with the guy who was like a Shakespearean thespian?
Was it The Ladies' Man?
No, he was recapping the incident at the fast food restaurant, and he was using like
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha on that one. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I think it's the same guy. I'm not willing to follow through and look into it if it is or not, but I think it's the same guy anyway. A weird twist on the rags to riches Cinderella type movie, I guess, where the unluck Bugs Bunny type character seems to always stumble out of a situation. Normally a little lightheartedness is fine, but this is kind of over the top, and all I can hear is Robert Downey Jr.'s character talking to Ben Stiller's character in Tropic Thunder. You know what Forrest Gump reference scene I'm talking about?
Go full, yes.
Yes, this one's a touch brown for me. Tony, what say you?
Okay, this movie looks like if you took Kevin Smith and Jim Henson's Labyrinth's deformed characters, sprinkle a little comedic Evil Dead Necronomicon, you might have Marcus, he likes to be called Onyx, The Fortunate and the Talisman of Souls. The trailer just looks silly and campy, ridiculous, definitely not scary. It's what you would call a comedy horror movie. The acting looks awful, but if you like the vein of a Jay and Silent Bob type horror movie, it might be up your alley. It doesn't take itself seriously, but to me it just looks absolutely stupid. It is a Fathom event, so you can see it in theaters. However, I'm not going to go to the theaters. I'm not going to watch it at home either. So, Jimmy, I'm with you, buddy. Touch brown.
Okay. Spencer, what say you?
Well, a couple of things went through my head in watching this, and the first one is that Marcus / Onyx in this movie. Has anybody here seen the show The IT Crowd?
No.
Okay,
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
The guy who plays the CEO of the company in the later seasons, he is very dramatic, and he always talks like this, and he's always up to something that's makes William Shatner look restrained, and that's kind of what Marcus was reminding me of. And then they threw him into the plot. It looks like of the tail end of Cabin in the Woods, where you have everybody who's playing a certain role in the tarot or anything for a ritual, and Well, I think Cabin in the Woods probably did it better, but this one I might give it a try at home if it pops up on a streaming service, and I might play it for background. So I'll give it a blah.
Wow, are you okay? Just want to make sure you're not running a fever. Okay, Rob, what say you?
Yeah, thank you for making us watch this.
You're welcome.
That guy's voice, like, seriously, was the most ingratiating, like, thing I've ever heard. And I could not imagine an entire movie with that voice.
Yeah.
I've never walked out of a film, but if I was, like, forced to go see this, I would be, like, kicking and screaming my way out.
Yeah.
But you almost walked out of a trailer and you were at your own house.
Okay, so, yeah. Touch Brown all the way. Like, how did this even get financed is beyond me.
Okay, yeah. Well, no doubt, huh? Well. All right, Tony, what is next?
Oh, well, you said that was the worst. I'm going to follow it up with another turd burglar, and that's the Canterville Ghost.
Oh, okay.
The 19th gives away to the 20th century, and scientific invention brings forth new ways of traversing and seeing the world. A modern American family moves into their recently purchased country home, Canterville Chase in England, only to find out it is haunted by a ghost. Sir Simon de Canterville has been haunting the grounds of Canterville Chase successfully for over 300 years, but he meets his match when he tries to scare the new arrivals. Like Scoob, like the Canterville Ghost is totally real. Oh, God, it's animated and it's from Shout Kids. Yikes, here we go. These are the movies I need to start out as a voice actor so I could just get a job. You know, you got to start somewhere. You got to tell people you're doing this, but then you probably ain't going to go too far because obviously it's just a paycheck if you're lucky to get anything from it. It must be nice. The animation is, I guess, nice. It's a low budget, way below Disney quality. Yeah, even kind of below DreamWorks CGI animation, but you got to give it credit for what they can do with CGI. I currently muted the trailer as I'm typing this out. So I'm watching a redhead goes into a castle. She lives there. She becomes friends with this ghost. You know what? I'm not going to finish watching this trailer. It looks stupid. If you have kids, you might want to stream. Scrap that. Don't let your kids even know about it. This movie looks terrible. I'm stopping the trailer right now, dropping the touch ground.
Wow.
God, that movie, it was terrible.
Didn't even finish the trailer. All right.
Well, you know, I just love that we can find. I just love it when we can find any excuse for him to do his Shaggy impression.
Yeah.
Well, the material's there. It doesn't take much.
It was a lot for that one, man.
Just to be clear, this ghost has chased away residents of this mansion for hundreds of years, though when the most recent property purchasers move in, he suddenly isn't a scary ghost, but a self-conscious, whining nincompoop. Just in the trailer alone, the movie steals concept ideas from Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice and mashes them together in loathsome computer animation that is groanfully and eye-rolling. October is the season for horror movies, not horrible movies. Touch Brown. Rob, what say you?
Yes. Jodie Foster and Alyssa Milano, they've both appeared in The Canterville Ghost in previous iterations, and let's leave it with that. I'm all for animated movies, but this one looked boring. Like, seriously boring. And I'm with Tony, as I didn't finish the trailer either. Mostly because it's like, I've seen this story and I've watched this already, and I already know how it ends. And they didn't even make a twist. It's still the teenage girl befriending the ghost. At least make a twist. Sorry. Touch Brown.
Okay. Spencer, you want to follow that one up?
Well, I didn't realize I'd be the forgiving one this week. I did get the Beetlejuice and the Ghostbusters vibes from it, which I actually kind of made me kind of like the ideas a little bit. But then I also saw that Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie were voices in it, and I love those two guys. They are funnier than heck. They've been funnier than heck over the years in various things, and so it's like basically they're befriending nearly headless Nick from Harry Potter, so I'm willing to give it a shot, but definitely not in the theater. I would watch it like if it comes out on Netflix or something, and just like for a silly Halloween party thing, where beyond to help entertain the kids. So I'd give it a blah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I see a trend here for all four of us. All right, Malibu Horror Story is the next one. Malibu Horror Story follows a team of amateur paranormal investigators as they delve into a 10-year-old unresolved case, the disappearance of 4 popular high school boys on graduation night while exploring a sacred cave in the hills of Malibu, California. I didn't know there was such a thing. The team encounters chilling paranormal occurrences. As they analyze footage from the missing teen's camera, they make a terrifying discovery involving an ancient curse which forces them to confront their own worst fears and unravel the sinister truth behind the boys vanishing. All right, turn down the lights and pull out your favorite adult beverage. We got ourselves a bona fide entry in the jump scare drinking game. The trailer plays out in the usual unsolved mysteries formula as amateur ghost hunters decide a cave is the best place to learn they aren't mentally, physically, or spiritually ready to handle what they find. Summon, I'm not quite sure. But it, oddly enough, does look like it'd be a fun ride. I just fear it will have a disappointing finale, and my fear of that alone is enough to keep me out of the theater for this one. I'm going to give it a blah. No, I'm not running a fever. Tony, we got about 30 seconds to the break, so you want to just hold off until we get back?
Yeah, I'll hold off till we get back from the break.
Okay.
Do you want to do a quick recap?
Quick recap. All right, so a quick recap. I'm the only one who's done it so far, but Malibu Horror Story for me gets a blah. And then the Canterville Ghost, Spencer gave it a blah. Tony, Rob, and I gave it a touch browns. And the only other movie we've talked about thus far, which is Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. Spencer also gave that one a blah. Tony, Rob, and I also gave that one a touch brown. And we'll be hearing what Tony thinks of Malibu Horror Story when we get back. So don't go anywhere. More Pop Culture Boom Radio Show right after this. And welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show. We are going over the movies that'll be coming out this coming week with Mr. Tony Sanfilippo of Filippo's Horrible Reviews. And so far we've covered 2 movies. Onyx, the Fortuitous, and the whatever the movie's so bad.
The Canterville Ghost.
Onyx, the Fortuitous, and the Canterville Ghost?
Yeah, those are the 2 movies we've done so far.
I thought it was the something, an amulet or something of souls or something.
No, Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls.
There we go.
Right.
That was
and then the
title.
Canterville Ghost is the 2 movies we've done so far.
Yeah. But going back to Onyx, the Fortuitous, and the Talisman of Souls, Spencer gave it a blah. Tony, Rob, and I gave it touch browns. The Canterville Ghost. Spencer gave it a blah. Rob, Tony, and I gave it a touch brown. And Malibu Horror Story. And to recap on that, Malibu Horror Story follows a team of amateur paranormal investigators as they delve into the 10-year-old unresolved case. Why did it put unresolved? Why didn't they put unsolved? The disappearance of 4 popular high school boys on graduation night while exploring a sacred cave in the hills of Malibu, California. The team encounters chilling paranormal occurrences as they analyze footage from the missing teen's camera. They make a terrifying discovery involving an ancient curse which forces them to confront their own worst fears and unravel the sinister truth behind the boys' disappearance. Or vanishing, I should say. I gave it a blah. Tony, what say you?
Welcome to Malibu, bro. 4 high school boys go missing, so a paranormal group goes to ask the spirits what happened to Benny and the Jets. There's predator vision, there's intense music, there's jump scares they take from Blair Witch, and they've been there, done that. However, this is the Halloween season, and it might be worth a Paul Blart rule, which means I'd give it at least 20 minutes of a watch, so I would do that from home. I'll give it a blah.
Oh, okay. Spencer, what say you?
Well, it just seems to me that this movie's a little too busy because when I first started watching, it's like, okay, so it's a found footage movie like Blair Witch. Okay, that's a simple enough concept to follow, and you go, and it's like The Descent. They're going into a cave. Okay, I can follow this. Then all of a sudden they introduced this the supernatural ghost hunter people. I'm like, really? I mean, why are you bringing this in? I mean, you're just making it too busy, and then it's in Malibu, which makes me think of Malibu's Most Wanted. And because this movie made me think of Malibu's Most Wanted, I'm automatically giving it a touch brown.
Malibu's Most Wanted. Okay.
I love that movie.
Touch brown. Okay, Rob, what say you?
Yes, as the tagline in the trailer said, some cases should remain unsolved. Some movies should remain unwatched. Yes,
Touch
like
brown.
this one, touch brown.
Wow, I'm surprised from you.
Yeah, Rob, I am very surprised we are the same.
They
wavelength
tried
on this
to
one.
be camp, and they're not camp.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, Tony, what is next?
Kill her. That's what it's called. Kill her? Or is it
Killer.
Killer?
Killer.
Her.
Killer.
Kill her.
Killer.
Kill her. Oh, Maddie and her three best friends, Edie, Jess, and Ray, head into the woods for a weekend to plan Maddie's upcoming wedding and bachelorette party.
Because that's
Edie,
where all the girls
Maddie's
go.
roommate, and no, they're all going to the mountains. An unrelenting practical joker leads them to believe they will be setting up camp near Maddie's hunky fiance, Jagger, and his friends. Oh, God, this thing's going off real quick. They soon realize the tent that they've snuggled up to next belongs to a mysterious recluse named Mr. Rogers. Okay, won't you be my neighbor? Rather than Jagger, and this definitely is his neighborhood. Oh, my God, really? They put that in there? Like, that was a pun. They put that in there. Jeez Louise. Zero cell reception and only a literal pot to piss in. Sorry, FCC, I'm just reading what it says. Their weekend camping trip in beginning to look like a bad idea for these unhappy campers. But it only gets worse when people start to die and a terrible secret is revealed. All these girls wanted was a killer pre-bachelorette party, and that's exactly what they got. The synopsis really just tells you what it's all about. But here's we go. Smells like a potpourri of floral farts in a farmer's market. Well, that's what the old Mr. Rogers says to start it off. Well, from the beach to the mountains, ladies' camping trip, I'm pretty sure one of the girlfriends in there is the psycho female, and I'm going to guess it's the redhead. She brings her friends camping. She wears a wannabe Bray Wyatt mask with yarn hair. Well, one of her friends are getting killed, and at times they tease like she's going to take off the mask, and then the old man they call Grandpa meets his untimely ending. This movie doesn't have any appeal to me. There was nothing that pulled me in, and that mask is about as lame as you could get. It looks like someone took a papier-mâché newspaper, put some hokey yarn, and that's the wig. And I'm telling you, it's the redhead girl in the trailer. Touch brown for me.
Okay. Wow, it's always funny when we're both on the same wavelength with things sometimes.
I love it.
What's goofier than the title of this movie? Because it is actually spelled Killher with no space in there. So kill her or killer or whatever it is. What's goofier than the title of this movie? The movie itself. It doesn't take itself seriously, and nor do I. By the time it rolls around to be about a slasher, I've lost complete interest in papier-mâché killer doing murders in the woods. I'm just going to give it a straight-up touch brown. Rob, what say you?
Yeah, Maddie does not have moves like Jagger. Because, she made a very bad decision. I mean, in all reality, I'm sorry, but I don't know any bachelorette party that's going to go, let's go camping in the woods to plan the wedding. What? Like, seriously, like, I don't know. Like, this premise is stupid.
Yeah, my wife loves camping, and she still didn't go
And
take her bachelorette
it's not like they
party
went
out there.
glamping. They went camping. You know, like.
Yeah.
So, I don't know why they made this movie. They want people to watch it. They should have did better. Touch brown.
Okay. All right, which brings us to the 40-ounce monkey in the room.
I don't think.
Oh, that's right.
I-
We're from. Sorry about that, Spencer. This movie was just so bad. I just wanted to mind blanket as quickly as possible.
Okay, I will be quick. And I am going to have to apologize. I am going to break the touch brown streak, just because this kind of fills that same niche that that Friday the 13th fills for me, and it's been a while since I've seen a movie like that. So again, I'm not going to seek it out in the movie theater, but I will see it. I will catch it on Netflix, and
You should be so lucky.
And I don't know. I like the look of the slasher, but but you're probably right. It is probably going to be the redhead. So I don't think there's going to be too much in the way of surprises on this. But if it has some interesting looking kills, like in the Friday the 13th franchise, I could give it. I'm going to give it at least a blah of a shot.
Okay. Good luck with that one. All right.
I'll let y'all know
Which brings us to the 40-ounce monkey. There is no 400-pound gorilla, as you've heard so far. And this brings us to the 40-ounce monkey this week, which is called Soulmates. And here's the synopsis. Two unsuspecting strangers, Jason and Allison, find themselves participants in a twisted new dating service led by the matchmaker. It forces the two singles inside a nightmarish maze designed to help them find their soulmates or die trying. So find your soulmate or meet your soul, whichever it is. Somewhere, somehow, someone had the idea that if Saw was a dating app, and thus this movie was made. Should it have been made? In my opinion, absolutely not. But someone somewhere will like it, and I think. But for me, it's not for me at all. So I'm just going to give it a touch brown and leave it at that. Tony, what say you?
What do you get when you get Date Night, The Running Man, and Saw? Well, you get Soulmate. Couple wakes up in bed together, don't realize they are handcuffed, and now must survive a torturous game to survive from the crazy mastermind named Matchmaker. It's totally a ripoff of Saw, and it looks like it has elements from the 80s movie Running Man starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. But the fun does not look there. It just looks like a cheap ripoff of Saw. So if you're into the torture-type movies, it might be for you. However, for me, I don't like those types of flicks, so it's a touch brown for me.
Okay, Spencer?
All right, the movie has literally one saving grace for me that gives me the remotest interest in it, and that is Neil McDonough, the guy who plays the
that's
matchmaker.
His name, yes.
Yeah, I love this
He's
guy.
the only one I recognize. I'm like, okay, I've seen him.
Even
At
in
least
crap
recognize
movies
somebody.
he's been in, like Walking Tall, he was the best part of that movie. He was in Arrow. And he made such a fun villain. He chewed up so much scenery, cardboard should have been shooting out his rear end. And so I am so willing to go see this just to see Neil McDonough's parts.
Okay,
but I'm going to give it a blah.
Oh, but not that willing to go see it.
Yeah, I'm not willing to pay full price for this one.
Okay,
but so
or even half price.
Well, you want me to go so? But no, I think blah is more than fair.
I don't want you to do anything. I want you to.
Yeah, I think blah is more than fair in that because I will again. This will be like one of those things I put on like in a Halloween movie marathon. And if Neil McDonough does half the scenery showing that he does in like all the other stuff I love him in, I will probably enjoy this.
Okay, blah for you, Rob. What say you?
Well, Damien Dark has transformed himself to the Matchmaker. Those of you that know that.
Matchmaker. Ooh, we're going to hook you up.
I think the best part of the trailer for me was when the guy says, "Oh, this is a video game? Or this is a game?" Like,
it's a game show, yeah.
Okay, you didn't realize that at the beginning. Like, you're the audience member. Okay. It does look campy. It has Damien Dark, so it's definitely a blah.
Okay. Well, that was actually no. There's when Malibu Horror Story was they tied with the 40-ounce monkey as being the best rated one this week. All right, Soulmates. When it's all tallied up, Spencer and Rob gave it blahs. Tony and I gave it touch browns. Killer. Spencer gave it a blah. Rob, Tony, and I gave it touch browns, which is weird because Spencer liking the horror movies over Rob and I. But anyway,
this is a weird, bizarro world today.
Malibu Horror Story. Tony and I gave it blahs, and Spencer and Rob gave it touch browns, which kind of surprised me with Rob giving that one a touch brown. The Canterville Ghost. I'm surprised that wasn't a big streak, but Spencer liked it enough to give it a blah. Everybody else gave it a touch brown. And Onyx the Fortuitous One or something or other was something, blah, blah.
Call me Barkus, Jimmy. Jeez.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm the fortuitous one.
Spencer gave it a blah. Tony Robindai gave it Touch Browns, and hopefully I never have to mention that movie again. Ever. Okay.
The sad part is it's in my history.
Suggestion. No, since you like Onyx,
Right? Exactly.
That was the funniest thing I've heard all night. All right, so with that being said, next week we'll be taking a look at from being released from October 23rd to October 29th, The Killer, Freelance Inspector Sun, S-U-N, not S-O-N, Inspector Sun, Suitable Flesh, which actually I've been hearing a lot of buzz about in the horror stuff, and the 400-pound gorilla in the room will be Five Nights at Freddy's. Mm-hmm. So those are the movies for next week.
Jump Scare, the video game, which now is becoming Jump Scare.
And you're going to be able to join us next week, Tony.
Yep, I will be on the show.
All right, we'll have an in-studio guest as well, so it'll be 5 of us.
Woo-hoo.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 of us doing the movies next week. So, all right, sir. Other than that, let me see. We got about 2 minutes left. Were you able to catch up on any of those TV shows yet?
I'm caught up on Loki, and I'm 5 episodes into Ahsoka. So I've moved along. I haven't finished it, but I've stayed on top of Loki so far.
Okay, what are you thinking of it so far?
Last episode was kind of not as good as the first one. I loved the first one. We picked up right where last season went off, and I loved it. Went right into that. This one jumped right into the, hey, we're already in the future, so you're doing all these time jumps. So.
Yeah, weird time jumps too.
That's the hard part.
It was okay.
I thought it was interesting. Got into a little bit of backstory with Loki. I mean, the last things he remembered, throwing Tony Stark off of Avengers Tower, or Stark Tower, I guess, at that point in time. So that I enjoyed a little bit. Them getting into figuring out. I guess now they know that what is that, Doc or whatever her name is an older version of Sylvie, and she was trying to prevent the younger Sylvie from doing something or something like that. Which we don't know exactly what it was yet. So,
well, and then there's ties too. They think what is that the McDonald's kid is Mobius.
Really?
Yeah, there's some ties. They think that's Mobius in the 80s. Obviously, whatever his name is in the show, Jack.
Right? Yeah. Before he gets moved to the timeline.
Yeah.
Before he becomes part of the VT. What is
TVA.
it? TVA. Oh boy, I got all dyslexic, didn't I?
Gotta love Sylvie at McDonald's there.
Yeah.
I feel sad for her because she actually looks like she's content and
until she sees Loki.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It was all right. She's living her life and.
I go to Breaking 5.
Yeah, right. Great.
See you out there.
You're messing with my break now too. It was that whole attitude.
But it wasn't a real '80s McDonald's because there weren't ashtrays on the tables. That's all I gotta say.
They did have the tile roofs though.
They did. But
so that was good because my wife's like, they look like that. I go, yep, they had those tile roofs,
and they had those McDonald's ashtrays on the tables too. You can't, but they didn't have those in this. So anyway,
you can't have smoking.
You can't.
Good
smoke
point.
here.
But you could show them. But anyway, all right, Tony, we got to go. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. Look forward to next week, and I'll see you then. Well, I'll be over the phone then.
True.
We'll talk to you then.
All right. Talk to you later, sir.
Have a great rest of the show. Later.
Bye.
Hello, and welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show. Everything you want, everything you need in pop culture entertainment. All right, speaking of 80s and a blast from the past, a new Guitar Hero game may be in the works as part of Microsoft and Activision's new partnership. Guitar Hero is one of the most iconic and revolutionary franchises in gaming. The first game in the series allowed players to pick up a replica of a guitar and not really, and play along to a bunch of iconic rock songs. The series continued to evolve and grow, eventually becoming acquired and published by gaming giant Activision. It would later face stiff competition from Harmonix, the developer actually responsible for creating Guitar Hero. Due to various acquisitions, Harmonix was broken away from the Guitar Hero franchise and would instead make Rock Band, which, as the name may suggest, encompasses far more than just the guitars. Both franchises were juggernauts, but fell off the map for a number of years. Incidentally, both franchises staged comebacks in the mid-2010s, and things were ultimately overwhelming on a commercial level, resulting in both of them sort of fading into the background yet again. However, as reported by Windows Central, Activision CEO Bob Kotick held a town hall meeting with the company to speak about the future of the publisher as the Microsoft acquisition reportedly looms closer to closing. When speaking about what Activision looks like under Microsoft, Kotick noted that he's excited about their technology and extensive research development teams, which he claims will make the reemergence of Guitar Hero possible. Guitar Hero Live was the last game in the series and was fairly experimental, as it allowed you to play live concerts with real-life footage that would dramatically respond to your performance. The music genre in gaming is fairly limited when it comes to evolving, unless you do something extremely drastic and risky. But it's hard to justify when the cost of the game is usually upwards to $100 to accommodate the hardware that the game requires. Either way, it seems Guitar Hero could be getting resurrected under Microsoft in the coming years, which would make for a really exciting Xbox exclusive game.
Yes, it would actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I loved that game back in the day. We actually got a replica of George Harrison's Gretsch guitar.
I'm left-handed. I did not play it.
I'm left-handed as well.
Yeah. You can switch it to left-handed.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
no, that's just an excuse for not playing.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm like, that is not an excuse.
It doesn't look right. I was like, fuck.
When you said the 80s, I thought you were going in a completely different
anybody
direction.
who can actually play a guitar or a bass, it's like trying to play Guitar Hero short circuits them.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, you're playing
because you can't move your fingers the way that you should actually put them on the
Guitar
chords.
uses strings, and Guitar Hero uses buttons. So obviously it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, it was true. I just could not get into it. I was like, you little tiny.
Now, if they had some sort of technology that like made the strings act that way, that would be true Guitar Hero.
Yeah, it would, and it would be worth playing. And plus, you have to actually use a fretboard like you're supposed to use a fretboard instead of just pressing 4 buttons and weird sequences. So, Star Trek Prodigy Season 2 has found a new streaming home on Netflix. The Star Trek animated series has been searching for a new place. I was going to make a joke about the whole Star Trek mission. To explore strange new worlds.
Anyway. Seek out new life and new channelizations.
I guess so. Trek Animated Series has been searching for a new place to stream ever since Paramount Plus canceled the series and removed the first season from its library. Production continued on this second season in the hopes of finding Star Trek Prodigy a new means of reaching fans, and it seems those hopes have come to fruition with Netflix, who previously carried Paramount Plus's Star Trek series in international markets before Paramount Plus began its global rollout. Star Trek Prodigy will become the first new Star Trek show to stream anywhere other than Paramount Plus or CBS All Access, its previous branding, in a market where Paramount Plus has been available since the long-running sci-fi franchise entered the streaming era with Star Trek Discovery in 2017. Star Trek Prodigy Season 1 will move to Netflix later this year. Star Trek Prodigy Season 2 will debut on Netflix in 2024.
I'm actually looking forward to that because I enjoyed the first season of Prodigy.
Okay, not me. I haven't watched it. I don't know.
Well,
it's geared towards the younger. It's geared towards the 7 and younger.
Yeah. It definitely does skew younger. But I do like that they actually have Kate Mulgrew in it.
That's the
only adult saving plus to it.
Yeah, because I don't know. I didn't find it that great. Like, I like Star Trek shows, and
Well, I guess I shouldn't say
watched
the first season. I watched the free preview that you could watch up to where.
I watched it because I like Star Trek, but it wasn't. I don't know. I could see like why Paramount was like, we're done. You know.
Okay. Well,
yeah, but it's tough to find kids stuff that doesn't lean too kiddie that grown-ups can enjoy as well. It's hard to find that little.
Which is why I don't look for kid stuff.
Well,
I don't have to.
Well, it's like with Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's a kids show, but it skews enough that adults can enjoy it as well, and that's a hard balance to find.
Well, okay. Disney Plus is The Princess and the Frog spin-off series. Tiana officially has a writer. According to Variety, Joyce Sherry has signed on as the animated series lead writer and director. Sherry, I guess she has to be the director too then.
I'm surprised it took this long for them to make a spin-off thing, because they have spin-offs of everything else.
Yeah, it'll be canceled before the first episode comes out. Sherry most recently worked as a writer on Micah Flanagan's Netflix series Midnight Mass. Actually, that was actually a weird and decent take on vampires. Tiana was initially announced during Disney's Investor Day in 2020 and had been expected to debut this year, but is now looking at 2024 launch instead. In addition to her work on Midnight Mass, Sherry has written and directed several short films, including Beauty, Forever, Down, Baby. Is that all one title? No, there's like commas after every single word. So I'm like, and The Family Stone, and won the 2020 Slam Dance Screenplay Competition for her feature Sweet 16. As for Tiana, the series will see Annika Noni Rose reprise her role as the voice of Tiana. The series is, I've never seen that. Who is this character?
She's the Disney princess of Princess and the Frog.
That explain no more. Need to bring back Tiny Toon Animaniac. They did. They did bring back Animaniacs with the original cast. They did, and Tiny Toons. And but the Gummy Bears, I don't know about that. The series is described as following Tiana as she sets off for a brand new adventure as the newly crowned Princess of Moldonia. But a calling to her New Orleans past isn't far behind. The series is set to be produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios, which also made The Princess and the Frog. Nathan Curtis is set to produce with Jennifer Lee and Stella Mackey as executive producers. Mackey has previously been set to write and direct the series. Tiana is just the latest Disney Plus series follow-up to beloved Disney animated films Zootopia, Big Hero 6, and Cars. All have gotten follow-ups. As Moana, a Moana Disney Plus series is also in the works and is eyeing a 2024 release.
Yeah, the real standout thing about The Princess and the Frog to me was that Keith David was the voice of the bad guy in that, the Shadow Man. And I love his voice. He does great work as a voice actor.
See, I've never watched it at all.
Oh, it's great. I love Princess and the Frog. So do my kids.
Yeah, my daughter dressed up as Tiana for Halloween.
I was one of those people that was excited that they were actually changing Splash Mountain to Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bayou Adventure.
Yeah. I enjoyed the show, and I'm like, I don't know.
And you can rest easy now, Spencer, because development on Max's Garbage Pail Kids series is still underway.
Oh, joy.
With Halloween helmet David Gordon Green recently confirming he and frequent collaborator Danny McBride will still...
McBride.
Yes. No, it's McBridge.
No, it's McBride. Trust me.
Okay, I'll trust you.
Well, it's probably just a typo.
That's his longtime collaborator is Danny McBride.
Okay. Are still working on the series. Outside of the fact it's still in development, Green didn't reveal anything else about the show. Based on the popular 1990s Topps collectible cards featuring grotesque characters, a Garbage Pail Kids series was first announced for HBO Max in 2021 as an animated show. Nothing else has been unveiled other than Green and now it changes it to McBride. There you go, McBride's involvement. Solar Opposites producer Josh Bissell is also expected to be involved in the series. It's the second time the property has been adapted to screen, with a 1987 film often finding itself as one of the worst reviewed movies ever released.
Yep.
Though not as popular as it once was, the Garbage Pail Kids line continues to live on with annual releases. Earlier this year, Kevin Smith unveiled a partnership for a line of Garbage Pail Kids X View Askew crossover cards. Okay, it's also the latest IP Green has gotten his hands on, with the director helming reboots of both the Halloween and the Exorcist franchises. In fact, the Exorcist Believer may lead the director to even more films set in the Possession franchise. Woo!
Yeah, The Deceiver's the second one coming out.
Woo!
Believer, Deceiver. Do we know what the third one's called yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
The Deceiver is supposed to be 2025.
Okay.
Wow.
But no, him, Gordon Green and McBride are like, they collaborate on pretty much everything. Starting, I want to say, starting with the Halloween movie.
Okay. If you grew up with Digimon in the late 1900s and early 2000s, you already know that Digimon fans stay winning. I don't know what that means. Because after kickstarting the franchise with some prime anime content, we eventually received the rare opportunity to revisit the first generation of Digidestined through Digimon Adventure Tri, where these characters were actually maturing. Shortly after that, the film Digimon Adventure Last Evolution Kazana followed the fan-favorite characters with the intention of concluding their story. I'm sorry, I thought I heard music. But with Digimon, there are always opportunities for expansion. Now, the next big cinematic Digimon event is allowing fans to witness the equally popular second generation in their first quest as adult Digidestined, and fortunately, U.S. attended audiences will be given the chance to see the upcoming film in theaters this November. The theatrical release was first confirmed in a new press release from Toei Animation and Phantom Events, explaining Toei Animation and Phantom Events revealed details for the U.S. theatrical release of Digimon Adventure 02, The Beginning, as a 2-day event on November 8th and 9th. It is the present day, and the chosen children from Digimon Adventure 2 have returned with all new adventures. And with that music coming up a little bit, thank you all for tuning in tonight. As soon as I get down to where it is. No matter where you are listening, we genuinely appreciate you being here with us. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show. A big thank you to our guest, Nancy Ann Ritter and Christohper Inlow. They are both going to be starring in the upcoming film The Only Ones, due out in the spring of 2024. You can find both of them on Facebook if you'd like to follow their careers. Also, check out for when Nancy Ann Ritter will be at some cons or events near you. Next week, Sunday, October 22nd, we will have two special guests with two big upcoming events. We'll be talking with the co-founder and executive director of the Cordillera International Film Festival, Emily Skyle-Golden, about the upcoming Cordillera International Film Festival event, Fright Night, taking place at the Locomotion Plaza on Thursday, October 26th. Get all the details regarding the Cordillera International Film Festival event, Fright Night, from the best source possible, the Cordillera International Film Festival co-founder and president, Emily Skyle-Golden. We'll also be talking with award-winning author MC Hunton, about who will be in our studio with us the entire show. Yay! Studio guest. MC Hunting will be talking with us not only about her previous award-winning novels, but also the release of Book 3 of her Martyrs series, titled Devotion, and about the huge book launch for Devotion at Coffee and Comics in Sparks, Nevada on Sunday, October 29th. Why'd you pick a Sunday? Anyway, thank you all for your support, and please continue supporting Pop Culture Kaboom by listening to the Pop Culture Kaboom radio show. And if you missed any part of the live show, the Pop Culture Kaboom podcast is just for you. Produced by 97 and Now Productions, and not only will you get this episode, but also previous episodes on your time schedule. And very soon there will be some bonus material in the way of interviews. Subscribe to the Pop Culture Kaboom podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Also give a like and a follow to the Pop Culture Kaboom on Facebook for everything you want, everything you need from Pop Culture Entertainment Daily. And subscribe to the Pop Culture Kaboom YouTube channel for video interviews from events we have and will be attending in the near future. On behalf of our guests Nancy Ann Ritter and Christohper Inlow, Tony Sanfilippo of Filippo's Horrible Reviews, KNBC, Spencer, Rob, and I, thank you for your support. Have a great weekend. We will talk with you right here live next Sunday, 6 to 9, anytime during the week on Facebook and via email. And stay tuned for the next exciting episode of Murphy's Inc. And until next Sunday, be safe, stay healthy, and peace out, Wabbits.